kinds of reports of things underway. Give us a song that you only really get into on the beach or in a beach-like atmosphere. I'll broaden it out a little bit, okay? A song that you're not going to have too much to do with anywhere else. There's a million of them. I'm going to take Margaritaville off the board to start. Dan, how about you?
I'll take Under the Boardwalk off by the Drifters.
That's all. That's
like it's a good song, right? But I don't want to hear any time besides when I'm near the beach, to be quite honest. I'm sorry for making people that listen to the show suffer through it so much because it gives that beachy vibe. But I don't know. Do you really want to hear this on
I would. It's a top 5 icon.
March 27th in Philadelphia. You really want to hear this on the radio?
It has appeal. Maybe it's a generational thing. Yeah, I think so. But I got the point. Mainly, you want to hear about it summertime, beach, boardwalk.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. All right, so that's the side question. A lot of things underway today. We're going to talk with the head of the RNC at 1:30. This guy is Mr. Election Integrity. That's why Trump wanted him in there, second to none. 84 lawsuits already underway. We haven't even come close to an election. We'll update you, too, on what's happening in the court today. Mainly, they're about ready to put a lid on it, to quote Joe Biden. But it's mainly been technical people that worked inside with Trump. Next week is the big event, Michael Cohen. All right, phone lines. Get in first. 855-839-1210. All right, that's right. That's our side question today. Big day tomorrow. Dan and I and Roe over there at Mulligan Shore Bar in Wildwood, 3 until 5. Rich tags in at 5 o'clock. And then the Trump event, sometime around 5, he starts to speak. We'll talk to Jeff Van Drew about it a little bit later. There's still a lot of details there. Hit us on the side question, though. The song you only want to hear on a beach.
Yeah.
All right, or related area. That's what
Not
we're
a
looking
bad
for.
song. You just have no taste for it besides while on vacation or at the beach, right?
Yeah, that's the bottom line. So Republicans making noise, calling on the House to move to impeach Joe Biden. On the issue, there's a similarity to which they impeached Donald Trump on the Ukraine phone call and what Biden is doing politically with Israel, with Rafah. I don't think it's a good tactical move at this point to do it. I just want people to focus in on the presidential race, not anything that gives them any breathing room on the side of things. We've talked about this a lot. So saying this is the same thing at this point, impeaching Biden and going through that, I just have a feel it might help him in some way, shape, or form. Even though what he's doing, I mean, just score the political points by pointing out again and again and again, what he's doing here is just political. He's scared to death in Michigan of Arab voters. He's scared to death of these college protesters. By the way, kudos to the Philadelphia police chief. They did a nice job of getting in there, getting them out of there, including the Penn faculty who apparently were blocking the vehicles. Dan, my only complaint is New York has everything. You don't bring police vehicles in and put 3, 4, or 5 in the back of the wagon, right? New York, they bring buses in. Take them all out. You know, the loser
school
bus.
buses, right?
Yeah, just bring them in. Then you only have to get in and out once. But as far as dismantling it, that's right, getting it done, the police did a heck of a job. And the police commissioner is going to be in studio with us this coming Thursday at 1 o'clock and taking your calls, I believe. So
did you
we
see some
have
of
a
the
lot.
protesters being taken away? They were like very peacefully carried away, but just the way that they repeat their slogans.
Yeah,
it's
get
like,
a new free palace. We get it already. How about a
and the
change?
digest.
Yeah,
eat.
that's what they're told to say when they're being taken in.
It's like, and it's just, are their minds okay? Is where I'm going with this.
We'll be following and seeing what Larry Krasner does with them if they're out there by almost dinner time or before.
You know they're gonna be.
Yeah, but Penn, why? And also, I think Penn ought to be charged by the city of Philadelphia for letting this go on. I was told you yesterday, I was told before the end of the show that cops were on 12-hour shifts, no days off, all that type of stuff. That takes a toll. That's a disruption for these punks. Now, I think it was smart. I asked somebody, isn't this overkill? And they said, yeah, maybe 5 of us could go in there and get them out. But you never know. You never know if a mob started up and all that. You don't want to give them the pleasure of the police having to retreat or something.
I mean, these are snarky a-holes, though. Like five cops are just going to get shouted down. I feel like you need to go in there with some kind of force, and it's not to be violent or anything. It's just to have the numbers so you aren't cornered by these nerdy internet trolls and talked down. And like, I don't know. I feel it was appropriate.
Well, I'm just saying though that this is why Penn ought to be charged. The bill would probably be $500,000, $1 million. Chump change. Penn ought to pay it.
Yeah.
Penn, let this go on.
Yeah.
Nothing changed except they started another encampment and commencement was coming up. Why in the world? And how are you going to talk to these people? They're ignorant. That's what the point is. There is no other side to this. I mentioned, Dan, early on today in the beginning of the show, and I wanted to go back to it. This guy, Curtis Jones Jr., who is a city councilman in Philadelphia, said the dumbest thing of the week.
50 Cent?
He compared what's happening in Israel and said that would be like if somebody in the projects came out, shot someone, you don't go back in and blow up the entire project. Can you imagine this moron?
What?
Yes, that's what he's saying this is similar to. Because, I would invite him on, Dan. It's worth just an email.
50 Cent or Curtis Jones?
Yeah, well, both.
Okay.
Bring them both. Let's make sure 50 Cent isn't armed or anybody's around him.
Jackson.
It's Curtis Jones Jr. Imagine this is the attitude that Israel's gone too far. I dare this guy. There's no way he'll come on and defend this. So what's Israel supposed to do? That's the first question I would ask after the initial idiocy. What are they supposed to do at this point? Just say, all right, we've done enough? No, they're out to kill every single one of them. And that's exactly what they ought to do. And they ought to continue doing it until they feel they've killed every single one of them or close to it. And if others rise up and engage in this, kill them too. Well, that doesn't sound like much of a policy. It sounds pretty good to me. It sounds pretty effective. You're not going to allow them to reform and to do what they've done in the past. All right. So Wildwood tomorrow. What's the Inquirer see as their bright idea? What do Trump and Mayor Ernie Triano have in common? They're both under indictment. That's the major headline in the paper of record here. So they go after Mayor Ernie and they go after the city councilman. And they are under indictment. And so is Trump. Their indictment might be more ridiculous. If you're the mayor of a town like Wildwood, it's a full-time job. So this idea that they falsified it when it's really a part-time job and got health benefits, they ought to go to jail for that. It's almost as bad as what Trump has gone through. Damn, I was thinking maybe Trump at some point will say, hey, Mayor Ernie, way to go. How many indictments are you under?
Right, relate to him, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. And the councilman, way to go. I have 82. How many do you have?
Why isn't Trump coming out to this song yet? Imagine him shouting out Ernie while this is playing.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's... They'll have to come out with all the indicted people that will be there tomorrow or previously served people. Dan, what's the over and under? What's the number one thing that Trump is going to talk about tomorrow? I think I know it. Now, he will only, to the point of our side question, he will only talk about this tomorrow a lot because he's in Wildwood. The whales, the windmills, how he hates them. He'll be mocking them. But we're going to get him tomorrow, really the first time since he's had to process what?
The trial?
Yeah, Stormy Daniels.
Sorry, okay, yeah, I thought the answer was obvious.
Yeah, Stormy Daniels. I mean, I think that will be the lead tomorrow. God knows what he might say
I can't wait for
Stormy Daniels right at the beginning around this.
Well, I think I know how I'll frame it.
Yeah.
It's going to be a threat to democracy, no? Is that not going to be... he should frame it that Joe Biden's a threat to democracy. He's holding him up in these stupid trials, reference Stormy Daniels, and point out that poll over the weekend that shows Americans...
Let's play that. Yeah, to your point. Before we play it, though, Dan, come on now. Trump's not going to do that. He's going to go after Stormy Daniels here.
Yeah, I know.
Which might be a massive... Every one of the 40,000 people there might be subpoenaed to say, did he say this? All right, so... here is MSNBC pundits, and they can't figure out what the hell's going on here that a big poll said that Biden is a bigger threat to democracy than Trump.
Interesting in this polling was more independents said that they worry about President Biden weakening democracy than Trump, 53% to 42%. What do you make of this?
I find it shocking, honestly. I can't, make sense of that. No, I wish I could. I wish I had some really great insights.
You can. You just don't want to tell your viewers.
I don't know if
why
it's
are you on the show? Get her
not.
out of here. I wouldn't have you as a guest. You have no thought. All right, next. Let's do it.
What's the point of her being
I
there?
just did Inside Story today. If I go, I have no thoughts on any of this. Get them out. Get the hook.
I can't explain this.
I can't explain this. That's what you're there to do. Make it up.
Ta-ta.
I don't know if it's an outlier or not because the other numbers with independents and Biden are going in the right direction. So that may be it. But also, just one thing I wanted to add on to what Basil said. This trial's not on TV. You guys do a great job reporting what's happening. But if there aren't those images coming out of the courthouse, people feel like they know this story. We've heard about it for a long time. So it doesn't surprise me that they're not interested.
Blame the consumer again. Yep. These dopes are not interested in what's going on here in the courtroom. That's why Biden is a bigger threat to democracy in their stupid mind.
And let me ask you this. If there were cameras in the courtroom, would that further help or hurt Trump?
I think it would help.
I do too.
Yeah, particularly seeing Stormy Daniels there. Guys seeing this, you know what they're saying? Oh, man.
We saw it first. Can you imagine the audio we have?
And when Hope Hicks started to cry and all that, I think it would help. All right, let's go to Sharon in Plymouth Meeting on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Sharon, welcome in.
Thank you. Thank you for taking my call. I wanted to call and thank you and the entire staff there for supporting Israel and doing the right thing. You do it in such an elegant manner. You stick to the facts. And as a Jewish mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother, I truly am indebted to your entire staff. I really bring you lunch. You've just done such a wonderful job of presenting the other side and the right side of what should be presented. You've been wonderful. Thank you, thank you.
Sharon, happy Mother's Day, and thank you. And thanks for how many years that you and I have been talking over the radio? It's got to be close to 30, I think.
Yeah, but thank you. I knew you'd do the right thing, and it's all factual. It's not emotional. It's just wonderful that you present the right side. Or even though I may not 100% agree with you, it's always logical and intellectual. And I just want to thank you for it. Truly, you've just been wonderful. Thank you so much. God bless you. I hope you have a wonderful Mother's Day with your family.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you very much,
What a
Dan.
beautiful call.
Yeah, I think I've spoken to Sharon maybe 300 to 400 times easily.
Really?
Yeah, that's the longevity of talk. Usually it's on the Second Amendment, and she makes us aware she's a crack shot and she's packing. Yes. So you're not going to mess
I was
around
wondering
with her.
what she was referring to as she disagrees with you.
I like it when we differ. You know how I like it when there's a little difference there. Not
Yeah.
a crazy difference, but a little difference.
Mhm.
That's when it's a lot of fun versus just,
Speaking
lockstep.
of, you got Jimmy Matthews, youtube.com.
Yeah.
So I got 12 from WPHT going crazy today with all these President Trump references with tomorrow's rally coming up.
Oh man, I make sure I'm sure they're going to introduce him as President Trump, Jimmy, there in Wildwood, and thousands
He
of
writes, Dom continues to incorrectly say, quote, President Trump on the air. Joe Biden is president. Donald Trump is in a courtroom and a former president. Get it right, Dom.
All right, tomorrow is celebration. Come up to me and say aloha and President Trump. Let's go to Frank in South Philly. All right, Frank, what's your song? It's only a beach related.
It's the California Girls by the Beach Boys back in the day, where the theme behind that is the girls hanging out all over the country on the beaches in the summertime.
Perfect,
Get that
Frank.
tan.
Dan, I have changed that song. Wish they all could be South Philly girls.
Yeah?
But
I don't know about that.
that's not caught on. That is a good one, though. No, but I don't need the beach for that one. I think it's good enough.
I'm with you.
One of the Beach Boys, I think it's Brian Wilson, is in conservatorship now. That's a sad story. I just saw that today. Yeah.
Can I submit one Beach Boys song that I do think fits? Because this
Yes.
one I think is a good song, California Girls. I think it's really well done, but this dang song, Dom, I cannot. The only time I ever want to hear this one is Down the Shore. It's a terrible song. I'm sorry. Just naming off random island town names.
All right. It's like Johnny Cash. I've been everywhere, and he just puts a bunch
Right.
of towns in it and sold
That's
it.
all it is.
That's one of his big songs.
And there's a town called Kokomo in Indiana, and they're way too proud of this song out there. It's not about you guys. It's about an island.
All right. By the way, Dan, this Jewish, to Sharon's point, the real story is not just this encampment. It's the Jewish fraternity over at Temple that had these maniacs go on their roof, take the Israeli flag, and spell out Free Palestine. And that group, Dan, their fraternity has a proud number of people you and I were talking about yesterday.
Yeah.
Zuckerberg was a member of, not at Temple, but nationally. People like that, billionaires.
I mean, I can go down the list. It's
Yeah.
AEPI. AEPI is one of the biggest Jewish fraternities. He's up there with Sammy. Sammy was biggest on Indiana's campus. But you have names like Sheldon Adelson. Who else was on there? Art Garfunkel. You had both Simon and Garfunkel. You had both of them on the list. It's just a big named fraternity. Jerry Lewis was on there. And just to see this kind of, the one name that sticks out to me, because I'd love to hear his opinion on this when he sees something like this kind of vandalism from far left progressives, because I'm sorry, but this guy kind of enabled it. A former member of the fraternity, Gerald Nadler.
Yes, Mr. Fancy Pants, Jerry Nadler. Yeah, exactly. Now, Dan,
And just one more thing, though. If you needed some hair, Dom, Ron Popeil was also a member of the fraternity as well.
The Popeil spray. You were a VP of a fraternity. Somehow or another, Greg Stocker didn't tell me that when you were first proposed as the host of this fine show. That would have been a long
It's not something I go around
conversation.
promoting like all excitingly. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've
More than
ditched that.
happy
Good.
to. But
Okay.
no, I'm a member of DKE. We were an off-campus fraternity in a very strong Greek life in Indiana.
Yeah.
So it was a smaller house, but a very notable fraternity. And I was vice president for a year there. And some of our alumni, because we were playing the alumni game with AEPI versus DKE. And while you thought AEPI had some members, I said, well, my fraternity, we had Rutherford B. Hayes, Theo Roosevelt, Franklin
Rutherford B.
Roosevelt,
Hayes, yes.
Gerald Ford,
notable.
H.W. Bush, Dan Quayle. Come on, we had Dan Quayle as one of our.
That's
we had
pretty
Brett
good.
Kavanaugh as a brother. Ron DeSantis.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
pretty. Yeah, let's leave off.
George Steinbrenner.
Let's leave off Dan Quayle from that
Dick
esteemed
Clark.
list. Okay, it's 855-839-1210. You get on board. Hit us on the side question.
Dan Quayle.
As I said, encampment gone. Big story. Kensington encampment gone. The trial today, it's mainly bookkeepers and the like. This is all going to turn on Michael Cohen. Can he maintain somehow or another some sense of normality? He can't, but that's what it'll be about next week. And maybe the following week, we're going to have the decision that I believe could help decide mightily the presidency. If Trump gets a mistrial in this, none of the others are going to happen. They can't use the tag convicted felon, and we're off to the races. 855-839-1210. Jump on board with Dom. Let's talk about batteries plus bulbs, though. Two big stores, Mount Laurel, Route 73, Northfield on Tilton Road. Roy, my guy Roy, I've been texting with him today, getting some new stuff that he's got in and new stuff that he's doing. And he's been doing this 18 years ago. Roy founded the original Batteries Plus Bulbs Superstore. He has great people that work with him because with him, you need two things: great technical knowledge and unbelievable customer service. That's what drives it. Chris Sharp, his master tech, Farah, the store manager, they're there to please you. Mention my name when you shop in either one of Roy's stores. Be entered to win a $50 gift certificate to use at Mount Laurel and Northfield locations. No purchase necessary. You reach him at 856-638-0778. 856-638-0778. Tell them what the issue is. They will not embarrass you and say, oh, don't you know that or whatever. They're just there to help you get a handle. And sometimes this stuff can be maddening. Let Roy and his super staff help. Batteries plus bulbs.
Stockbrokers love to paint themselves as transparent. But if you are not aware of all of the fees taken out of your portfolio, can you really trust your broker?
I am Nancy Harding. This is my husband, Robert, from Glen Mills, Pennsylvania.
When Wall Street hides fees, you are being lied to because they're taking part of your money that you didn't know was going to be taken. Transparency is a word that's really batted around a lot and seldom seen. Crash Proof makes their transparency obvious by recording the meetings. They're demonstrating we have nothing to hide.
All the things that were said become legally binding. Wall Street wouldn't record their meetings. They don't want whatever is said in that office to be legally binding. And so it's a little too dangerous for them to record.
Learn why recording financial meetings is the only way to guarantee legally binding transparency for your retirement future. Register for one of the Crash Proof events on May 15th at the Washington Crossing Inn. Choose either the 11 a.m. or 5 p.m. event. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
I want to tell you about my friend, my dentist, and the master of dental implants, Dr. Mike Veneria at Veneria Dental. You know, we're approaching special occasion season, graduations, showers, weddings. If you're getting ready for a special event, don't forget your smile because it's going to be in all the pictures. Get your smile special occasion ready by making an appointment with Dr. Mike today. I've been telling you about Dr. Mike for years. My entire family goes to Dr. Veneria because the level of care and commitment to dental excellence that Dr. Mike and his staff delivers to every patient is unmatched. He's been delivering results that surpass expectations, and that has made him a top dentist in New Jersey for 10 consecutive years. So if you've been on the fence about getting that dental procedure done, give Dr. Veneria a call. I promise you won't be disappointed. With 2 locations to serve you in Cinnaminson and Woodbury, schedule your free implant consultation today for your perfect smile. Call 856-786-2020 or visit veneriadental.com.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
It is a dreary finish to the work week with plenty of clouds, off and on showers. It'll be breezy and cool with a high only 56. Tonight, drying out, mostly cloudy with a low 47. And for Saturday, partly to mostly cloudy. It'll be milder with a high 66.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. For over 35 years, we've grown by offering our clients more offices, more lawyers, and recovering more than $20 billion. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
All right, Tom Giordano Show. Asking you shall receive. A great police source just told me ballpark figure of the cost for this nonsense at Penn overtime for cops today, $800 to $1 million.
What?
Yep.
Oh,
They can just dip into that. Get that chump change we keep in the drawer over there at Penn. Tut. Let's put that out. No, the city of Philadelphia is probably not going to charge him, and I don't understand why.
oh,
They absolutely allowed this to build up to a point where there was fear. You better go in with all this police, all this overtime, 12-hour shifts. And once you set something like that in motion, it's very difficult.
now I know the
to get
left,
out.
these kids love the phrase or the word reparations.
Yes.
But shouldn't they have to pay reparations as
Yeah.
protesters for what they just caused these taxpayers?
Well, yes, it's not them as much as Penn allowing them to do it. They're the ones that ultimately have to pay. But it was, other than beyond annoying, relatively peaceful. They knew they weren't fighting with the cops like we've seen in these other places. So there's that. And the police did a good job of in and out there very, very quickly. President of Cornell is gone. So there's only 8 Ivy schools, and 3 of them have had their presidents resign or be kicked out. Okay, 855-839-1210. You get a line. This thing this week that pops, even with all the stuff we've seen with Stormy Daniels' testimony, is the inability of Joe Biden to do a sit-down interview. This is one more time I wanted to play, Dan. It's the A part. I think you said that's right. Yeah. Here's Biden with the one sit-down interview with Aaron Burnett. Ask what the question is that Republicans, Trump included, have to drill down on more. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the other things they're talking about are breaking through. I think inflation and Biden is the thing that breaks through. Even David Axelrod saying he's showing no humility in this. He gets mad. He can't show empathy. Here's Biden when Aaron Burnett starts talking about 30% up at the grocery store and all that stuff. Biden's answer is the worst possible arrogance and answer, and people know it's not true. Here's what she said.
What about, but there's real pain. Grocery prices are up 30%, more than 30% since the beginning of the pandemic. And people are spending more on food and groceries than they have at any time really in the past 30 years. That's a real day-to-day pain that people
No,
feel.
it really is. And it's real. But the fact is that if you take a look at what the people have, they have the money to spend. It angers them and angers me that you have to spend more. For example, the whole idea of this notion that Senator Casey talked about, shrinkflation. I think it's on your
Same
program.
price for a smaller bottle of juice or
Well,
something.
for example, Snickers bar, they did a thing, and it's like 20% less for the same price. That's corporate greed. It's corporate greed. And we've got to deal with it. And that's what I'm working on.
All right. The arrogance of this, the silliness of it. And she didn't jump in there effectively and challenge when he said, but you have more money to spend. So he's trying to say, you have more money to spend. If these corporations that Bob Casey's going to get a handle on wouldn't stop doing this, all that more money you have to spend, you'd still be fine. In other words, even though all these prices going up, they've only gone up because of that. You would have more money under Biden. That's the notion. He might really believe it at some level. They don't know what else to say. I just think we got to drill down on inflation, not the economy. No one cares about that. It's the average family and what they're facing. They have to be in denial not to see it. It is incredible, and it's going to get worse, and it's going to continue to be bad. All right, 855-839-1210. You have to, you can get on board. Yeah, cut 8 is where I was going. Great minds think alike, where it's a mind meld here. Ben Domovich from The Federalist was on Fox, and he makes my point here about who it is that's, even if they might be in the Biden camp originally, are going to reject Biden and why. Here's what he said.
Look, the truth is that when we look at the people who are shifting most dramatically from having been Biden voters to considering voting for Donald Trump again, it's driven by people who have young families, people with children. Those are the people who, frankly, experience on a daily basis the consequences of the inflation that they're experiencing under Joe Biden. Every grocery bill, you react to it with horror. You react to it saying, I'm buying the same things and it costs so much more than it used to. Basic things like fast food are shooting through the roof. You've seen a more than 200% climb in the cost of a McDonald's cheeseburger since the end of 2019. That's the kind of thing where it's like, I can't take my kids to McDonald's anymore. That's ridiculous. And I think that it's the kind of opportunity missed by this president, who is famously supposed to be this super empathetic guy. And I think it showed why, in this case, he doesn't have any empathy at all.
That's exactly right. He's an angry guy. He always has been, and a clown, and not that smart. They're all coming out here. I don't know. This is the thing that gets me more angry than anything Biden says or does. This is the thing that sets me off. And it's not just making a dollars and cents case. It's emotional. Why would we suffer? Why would we continue to suffer under a guy who's doing this to go down in the history books? He's incompetent, but to go down in the history books. This is completely, this type of level of inflation, unnecessary.
Do you think it's like a try to push it under the rug, or is he just so out of touch that he actually believes that people aren't suffering in the way that they actually are? Like, does he not know anybody that has a young family? Is his entire staff the leftist individuals that you expect from their basement, essentially, not trying to enter into adulthood the normal way?
Yeah, I don't think he's in touch with it. And I think he practiced it, Dan, and this is the best they can come up with, which is, A, say you're making more money so you can afford it, but you're mad because of what the corporations have done. Even if we concede it, the maximum of this delusion, and this other dope, Bob Casey Jr., I've seen him in an interview. I was there when we were taping at Channel 6, and he says this shrinkflation, Snickers bars and all. You got to just tear into this. I wish Erin Burnett had jumped in. Erin Burnett did a good job with him, everything considered. It exposed it. But she could have jumped in to say, to your point, you really think that people are believing it's corporate America? He would have said, well, they're not being told, Erin.
And I think people see right through it, because when he talks about people have more money, it's because they're trying to keep up with inflation. And the reason why they have more money is because they're taking on second, third jobs and working their asses off. And if you break it down on an hourly wage perspective, people aren't having more money in their pocket. No, they're just working harder so they can keep up with your damn inflation, Biden.
She said at the beginning of this, real income is down. The definition of real income is not that you're making a little bit more. It means, what does that buy for you given prices and inflation? That's exactly what it is. She said it, but she didn't drill down on it with this. And you can see he can't, one of the reasons he can't handle these sit-down interviews, he doesn't know anything, true, but he gets angry. He snaps at a moment. How did this guy ever get to be president? I wouldn't say that with a Hillary Clinton. Ideologically, you can differ on a lot of things. This guy, though, is moronic. He always has been. 855-839-1210. Maybe people have just put their head down and they accept a different price at the supermarket, or maybe they cut out certain things that would be nice, but we really can't do it now. That's what I hate. It is not a dollars and cents things. It's outright just anger. For what? For this guy, by a bunch of stuffed-shirted historians and others, to pump him up that you're going to be a great president. We've been through this many times. This is the genesis of it. This is how it started. They're puffing him up. You're going to be FDR. You're going to be LBJ. What did those two do? They spent unbelievably. That's what they did. They put more and more government into your life. There's $1.1 trillion still unspent. Where was the rush, the urgency to do that? And we're going to see a great battle going on. Yesterday, we had on the president of the Senate in Harrisburg. It's not just about a tax cut, the biggest ever, and all that stuff. It's about Josh Shapiro wanting to continue to spend our money and Republicans in the Senate saying, no, we want to give it back to you. I mean, I think they ought to give more back. Dan, my advice, if I had her off air, I thought about it after the interview. I would say, you know what? You're not going bold enough. Convince these people to go more. You got to get it where the average Pennsylvanian is going to get $1,000 back. or more. Go big, shock them, get it on the front page. These people want to keep your money. Every single Democrat, that's what they're about, to greater and lesser degrees. People, if they blare over with the ideological differences, but there's one thing that's clear. They want that money. Republicans have to be branded more. I wake up in the morning, I want to cut a tax, even if it's by a penny. Every second of every day, I am trying to cut this in every way possible. That's what they should be doing. Some of them can't say it because they're not. They're not crazed over it. That's what you have to be. That's the brand. We want you to keep your money. And if a person thinks we're better off with the government making decisions than that person, that mom and dad, well, what are you going to do? I mean, we can't deal with insanity. We can't deal with weakness. If they think the government can do a better job with their income than they can, they shouldn't be parents. 855-839-1210. You get a line. Jump on board. Hey, I've told you about my friend and board-certified prosthodontist and dentist, Dr. Robert Bentz. We've talked about all aspects of Dr. Bentz, the infrastructure he has, how convenient it is to make your teeth get a great application the first time around, all of that. But one thing he does that you don't see in many offices extraordinarily, from a routine visit or even a comprehensive, multifaceted process, he and his staff sit down with you, create a clear plan explaining it step by step. If you have questions, if you've been putting off a dental problem, if you're finally ready to get that smile that you've always been wanting, now's the time to call Dr. Robert Bentz, the Bentz Dental Group. You will see the Bentz difference. Friday's a good day. Booking people today to get you in. Set something up for next week. Make that appointment today. Visit BentzDentalGroup.com or call 610-272-6949. 610-272-6949.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie. Your radio doctor is sponsoring Diapers for Darlings, inviting you to donate disposable diapers for needy mothers. Visit yougivegoods.com. All donations go to Catholic Social Services, but be assured diapers go to moms of all faiths. What they share is the need for our help, so they could comfort their new little angels, because every life is precious. Visit yougivegoods.com and search Diapers for Darlings.
There's nothing quite like local. Local is your weekly farmers market or homemade strawberry ice cream. It's live music on the corner, yoga in the park, and a chance to try something new. That's why AARP is local, right here in our community, offering free events and enriching experiences that can help with finances, family, and fun. Join AARP Philadelphia and the Barnes Foundation for a free virtual tour of an art exhibit on May 23rd. Sign up now at aarp.org/local.
Hey, Dawn Stensland here. You've heard me talk about Chapman Windows, Doors, and Siding, how much I love my new patio doors. You know by now, if I needed windows, doors, or siding, I'd only trust the Chapman team. If you're thinking of updating your current siding or removing your current stucco and replacing it with siding, think Chapman. With the new updated siding choices available, the curb appeal of your home will pop. If you currently have stucco, updating it with James Hardy plank or vinyl siding will truly add value to your home. If you're looking to sell, you can bet buyers will value updated new siding. And right now would be a good time to get ahead of the ball and plan your siding project for 2024. The certified Chapman installers are the folks you want on the job. If you or someone you know are looking for windows, doors, siding, stucco remediation, shutters, or hardware, give them a call or text them 610-431-8898, ChapmanWindowsDoors.com. Chapman, the name I trust. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Borgata's Dash for Cash giveaway is here. This May and June, you could win a share of $1.3 million in prizes, including 2 new Cadillac Lyric SUVs or one of 4 new Voyager golf carts. Play to earn entries for 2 grand prize drawings held Saturday, May 25th and June 29th. The Dash for Cash giveaway, only at Borgata Hotel, Casino, and Spa. For details, visit theborgata.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
It seems like just yesterday when I captured my son's first steps or when we recorded his soccer games on VHS tapes. Those moments are gone. But the old home movies and pictures don't need to be. That's why my son created Legacy Box.
That's right, Mom. Over 1 million families have used Legacy Box to digitally preserve their old home movies and photos.
Simply fill Legacy Box with your old camcorder tapes, film, and photos. They will professionally digitize and send them back on DVDs, thumb drive, or the cloud.
With Mother's Day around the corner, it's the perfect time to get your Legacy Box and save your family's history. After all, few things are as important as protecting your precious memories. Give your mom a Mother's Day present she'll never forget. Legacy Box is offering a 60% discount. Order yours today and take advantage of our best Mother's Day sale ever. Visit legacybox.com/value and for a limited time, get an incredible 60% off your order. That's legacybox.com/value for 60% off. legacybox.com/value.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT. Free speech lives here.
The summer wind came blowing in.
All right, welcome in, everyone. Tom Giordano Day. Big day tomorrow, even bigger than the last time the Trump train came. By the way, it appears by all people kind of quarterbacking this that Michael Cohen is going to testify on Monday. Oh, man, here we go. We've got the supplies ready for this. In addition to that, they believe the prosecution will rest this coming week. Now, I don't know how much longer Trump wants the defense to go on, what other witnesses they'll try to call. I know one might be the head of the Federal Election Committee to talk about, is this irregular or not, what happened here. But Cohen will be the ball game. So probably not this coming week, but next. Sometime toward the end of that week, like May 23rd, 24th, I think the decision will come down, and I'm predicting it will be a mistrial. I will be very surprised. I'd be completely surprised.
Like, just going into it, how can Cohen even pretend he has credibility?
Well, because he's completely shameless, and he may even say, well, you know, it's not about me, it's about Trump. I'm telling you, the question, they found it with Stormy Daniels. It works. Just let the jurors sit back, Dan. Let it breathe. Turn off your mic. Don't say anything. Stormy, do you hate Donald Trump? And just shut up then. Let her talk forever. She wants to talk for a half hour. Let her keep talking, going nuts. Michael Cohen is going to go crazy. Hey, did you bring any items with you today to sell? Is anything on sale? He might pop out the T-shirt or something.
Yeah, doesn't he have like a merch store?
He does.
Oh.
He might start pitching it there, which is exactly what you want. What were you saying? You had something else?
No, there's a cup. I don't think we have time for it. So
okay. All right. Next hour. Okay. Coming up, the great Colonel Alan West. What does he think? Are we really this week? I'm proud we had Matt Gaetz on, who was brilliant yesterday. Danny told me they'd like to have him back next week. I'm all on board with that. Hey. If he has more hair tips.
Sure.
Bringing out what this Defense Department General Austin said, our troops are going to be at risk when they put this pier in to help the people of Gaza. Politicians can't say it, but I will. Why would we put American lives at risk in this situation? And they will be. Plus, what if they are fired on? Can they fire back? Why do we want to get involved in doing that? The Gazans want a pier to bring supplies in. We'll roll it in there, then let them pull it into the shore, whatever they have to do. Hamas blows it up. Oh, well, we tried. Phone lines, 855-839-1210. Case rests next week. Michael Cohen on Monday. Alan West next here on Talk Radio 1210. Let's talk, though, about another event we have coming up. Attention homeowners. There's a storm brewing in the real estate market. Are you prepared to navigate these turbulent waters? My great friend, Diane Giordano, invites you to an eye-opening event you don't want to miss. It'll cut through the noise and clarify what's really happening. I'll be joining Diane live and on Zoom on May 14th at the Hilton Garden Inn in Fort Washington at 6 p.m. to dive into the new NAR regulations, whether your home's value is at risk, whether the market will crash, how rising government spending and high interest rates will affect your assets. You'll discover Diane's latest techniques for pricing and staging your home to maximize profit. It's going to be a really informative evening. We have great wine, cheese, appetizers, and most importantly, valuable insights on the real estate market. Join Diane and me at the Hilton Garden Inn in Fort Washington. It's right off 309 on May 14th. Just RSVP. Do that at DianeCordano.com or 215-576-8666. 215-576-8666.
Hi, Stephanie from Emmons. Are you not loving your bathroom? Is the King's Throne looking a little outdated and run down? Let Emmons Design Specialists design a bathroom that you will love and one that Emmons will redo in as little as 1 day. An affordable, maintenance-free bathroom with little to no inconvenience to you and your family. With finance options available, there's really only one problem. Your bathroom will be so nice, your king may never want to come out. Call Emmons today at 856-885-6677 or visit us on our website at callemmons.com.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head and just over $30,000. That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask like 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. Optima Tax Relief. They're the best in the business.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
For details, visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Do you know when the best time to buy investment properties is? It's now. It's always now. You just need to learn how to buy them correctly. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night and learn how to buy investment properties and make money every time. That's right. That's what we teach. We teach how to buy investment properties and make money every time. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now. Take a class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Don't go through life ignorant about how to become a millionaire. Learn how to invest in real estate, the stock market, precious metals, and learn from an expert. At Investor Schooling, we teach these things and more. We only provide education, and we will teach you how to leverage real estate, how to leverage the stock market, and how to leverage precious metals to make more money than you've ever made before. Go to investorschooling.com and take a complimentary class this Thursday. We will see you there, investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, today we bring in the big guns. Whenever we have these weighty matters where it actually plays out, not just into something consequential, life and death, but also into the presidential race big time. Got a call on Colonel Alan B. West to break it all down. The Colonel with us on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Colonel, welcome in.
It's great to be with you, Dom. Thank you.
Have you ever had interaction with General Austin, Colonel? Because at least he's being pretty honest in testimony this past week. But, oh, my goodness, it's hard to believe some of the stuff he says.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, when I was a major serving at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, that's what it will always be. He was a brigade commander of the 3rd Brigade of the 82nd Airborne Division. He was a full colonel at that time, and I looked up to him. But something about, climbing those ladders and climbing that rank that, depending on what administration you advance under, can really cause you to lose your principles. And he's been quite the disappointment as the Secretary of Defense in this Biden administration.
Yeah, that is really bad. If someone like you looks up to him, again, there's a kernel there of stuff that's good, though. He actually answered the questions this week about this pier, saying, yeah, that's what we're going to do. and they may fire upon us in putting that pier
Yeah.
in. And he did also try to argue that's not boots on the ground if you're putting a pier into Gaza.
Well, that's stupid. I mean, and he should know better, because you think about how the mission in Somalia back during the Clinton administration started as a quote unquote humanitarian mission. And the next thing you know, it devolved into a combat operation. And every one of us know about Black Hawk Down, the Battle of Mogadishu, where Bill Clinton and Les Aspin, who was the Secretary of Defense at that time, denied those special operators and Rangers the right type of heavy armored equipment and AC-130 gunships, and they were embroiled in a fierce firefight. So we have already seen that pier come under mortar attack from Hamas, and so why would you want to put our men and women in a position to quote unquote give humanitarian aid, which will just be usurped and stolen and taken by a terrorist organization that killed Americans?
Yeah, and we're, depending on what the polls are, but various elements of Gaza itself, not just Hamas, they hate us or American soldiers too.
Yeah.
So we're not rescuing people that are just being held captive. Vast numbers just see it differently.
Yeah, they do. And think about it. When you hear these young people who are quite ignorant talk about an Israeli occupation of Gaza, no Israelis have been in Gaza since 2006. And the governing authority in Gaza is a terrorist organization called Hamas, who has in its charter the destruction, eradication, elimination, extermination of the state of Israel and the Jewish people. So why would we, even think about, as Joe Biden said, bringing people from Gaza into the United States of America? They voted for a terrorist organization to be their governing body. And I recently saw there was an Arab-Palestinian media survey that said about 80 to 90% of the people in Gaza thought Hamas was justified in the October 7th attack.
Yeah, and we're going to put American lives on the line. Well, first of all, those American lives are precious, but politically, if Joe Biden does this, Colonel, there's got to be an uproar. Particularly, I mean, what's the thinking? A guy with the baggage of Afghanistan that they don't want to go back to and revisit that people still care about it years after the fact, to put us in the same harm's way. You could be the most brilliant president. You could have the most brilliant field commanders. You still can't do this.
No, you're absolutely right. And the thinking is that the American people are just that stupid, and that Joe Biden can play both sides of the fence, which is what he's trying to do, straddle a fence, and not lose support with the Jewish community, but yet maintain the support of these young people, and especially the demographic that is there in Dearborn, Michigan, which is represented by Rashida Tlaib, who is nothing more than a Hamas propagandist, in order for them to come out and vote so he will not lose a battleground state of Michigan. So what Joe Biden is doing is playing politics with the terrorist organization and providing them material support, aid, and comfort by telling Israel that I'm going to cut off ammunition supply to you. You're basically saying that I'm on the side of a terrorist organization, all for my political benefit. To me, that's high crimes and misdemeanors, man.
It is. It is. And Tom Cotton's bringing that up. But Colonel, too, here's why your expertise is really valuable today, too. Netanyahu or some of the others have said, well, if we can't use the weapons Biden has taken away, then this is going to be more imprecise, the weapons we will use.
Yes.
And it's going to be more hand-to-hand, door-to-door stuff, which we know what would have happened in Japan if not for the atomic bomb. More people will die. And the left just has this image that they fixate on, and the reality you're going to cause more death doesn't seem to occur to them.
No, it doesn't. And that's the whole point of it. When you're saying to Israel, we're not going to give you the precision munitions that will enable you to have that precision level of targeting. And no other nation, to include the United States of America, goes through the painstaking efforts of alerting people, warning people, making telephone calls, text messages, leaflet drops, everything to allow civilians to extricate themselves from an area. But when you're dealing with a terrorist organization that commingles itself with the civilian population and uses hospitals and other type of facilities as bunkers and as command and control facilities, to include putting tunnels under these buildings, you need those precision munitions. So Joe Biden is really aiding and abetting a real genocide of the quote unquote people in Gaza, not the Israelis.
Well, let me play it out with you. I'm on the other side on this, though. You would go forward with impeachment in the House. You would start doing that. I would not, because it's warranted, to your point. But I just am afraid of any distraction. I feel we have this guy on the ropes and Democrats on the ropes big time. And I see the path here. If Trump is not convicted of anything in New York, mistrial, let's say, I see the path pretty clearly. Why would I then go impeachment?
Well, I think that you have to hold people to the standard of the rule of law. And I think you have to hold the quote unquote commander in chief to a highest of standard. And if we say, again, if we take a political stance that says we don't mind if the commander in chief wants to support a terrorist organization, we don't want to cause any waves, then, you really don't stand for principles. You really don't stand for the oath that you took to support and defend the Constitution. So I don't see this as a risky thing. I see this as, once again, showing that Joe Biden has created such a sense of national insecurity that something has to be said and something has to be done. What will happen in the Senate? The exact same thing you saw Chuck Schumer do, but at least you put the Democrats on a position where either you stand with America or you stand with Hamas.
Dan tells me, Colonel, that through your organization, American Constitution Rights Union, you wrote, in just 80 years, we've gone from young American men and women who did what was necessary to combat evil to a generation that embraces evil, demands we tolerate and reward it. How did this happen to young people? How did it happen, do you think?
I think because we stopped teaching the exceptionalism of America. We stopped getting our veterans in front of these young people to let them know about the service, sacrifice, and commitment. And when you think about the documentary Band of Brothers, not a single person from Easy Company 506 is alive today. But yet 80 years ago, you had young men in America that would lie about their age so that they can go fight evil. Now you got young people out there standing side by side with evil.
Colonel, on college campuses, I don't know how often you speak. I know you speak all over the place. And
a lot.
Yeah. There have been some. I have to say, the sight of you walking through this, as if there is some invisible shield around you, completely calm walking through this. Internally, though, aren't you churning when you're in the middle of any of that?
Well, you do. But the thing is, when you have the moral high ground, you don't surrender it. And, I was just recently at St. Louis University speaking on the Israel-Hamas situation. And of course, there are a group of students there, protesters. And within 2 or 3 minutes into my presentation, they stood up and started yelling and screaming, bigot, bigot. And I just looked at the ringleader and said, I'm happy to be called a bigot if that means that I stand on the side of the American people and stand on the side of what's right and against a terrorist organization. Which side do you stand on? And of course, they left the room. So I think it's important that we go on these college and university campuses and we show them that we're not going to take their crap.
Well, certainly. I mean, that's sincerely. It's quite a spectacle to see. Where do we find all things Colonel Allen B. West?
Yeah. Well, you can go to the American Constitutional Rights Union website, theacru.org. You can go to Substack and you can follow us on the Steadfast in Law podcast. And we're on all of the social media platforms except that communist Chinese TikTok thing, which is where you see a lot of this stirring the pot to support Hamas, a terrorist organization. Dom, let me close by saying this. The leftists and the Marxists have now joined in an alliance with Islamic jihadists. That cannot be debated.
Yeah, and isn't this one of the strangest things we've seen? Particularly, a lot of it is led by young women who would be in servitude to these people.
Yeah, ship them to Gaza.
Absolutely. Happy Mother's Day to your wife, who I follow your advice to the letter. Out of all the times we've spoken, just listen to your wife. That's the number one rule.
Yep, she's always right. God bless you, and thanks so much.
Thanks, Colonel. Take care. Dan, the first time at Valley Forge with him sitting up there, that was the cardinal rule. And I don't know. His wife didn't stop him with the motorcycle. I think she has now, though. And he still likes the Cowboys. That's another thing.
Would Ro allow you to get a motorcycle?
Sure.
You ever want a motorcycle?
No.
Why not?
I just think it's a silly thing. I
Oh,
don't
come
get
on.
the.
So my brother-in-law has a motorcycle for sale right now, and I was trying to convince Maisie to allow me to get it because I think it'd be nice to like jet in on work on it.
There's certain
She
body.
won't let me do it.
Certain body parts too that just chafe at the thought of being on a bike the whole time.
Just convenient and it's fun and
Oh yeah,
the open air.
yeah. Going over the Walt Whitman on a motorcycle.
Yeah, that's the problem with sitting in traffic. One of those things, having to
yeah.
balance it the entire time.
Yeah. 855-839-1210. I'm coming to you. You heard Colonel Alan West on this. He says pro-impeachment, Cotton and others. I don't think they'll do it in the House, and I get the principle of it. But the main principle here is simply to get over the finish line. That happens. A lot of good things happen. President Trump now reading from documents saying he can't talk about because he's gagged, and he's just rolling up PCL. Let's go live a little bit to hear what he's saying.
I love the printouts.
They were starting to go up so high, so he let a lot of them continue, including the drilling, because the prices were going so high for gasoline and energy. And now he comes out and he actually says, I guess with a straight face, but I'm not sure he knows what he's saying anyway, that it was 9% under Trump. So at least the New York Post, and I hear the Wall Street Journal, a couple of others,
We got
corrected.
it. He also we also said, excuse me.
No, I couldn't find the right one.
Yeah, legal experts. Trump says legal experts say this trial's a scam. That was his lead today, as he takes off. I don't know if he gave a pitch for Wildwood yet, but everybody that we've had on from the Trump surrogates, you're going to be in Wildwood, Dom. Matt Gaetz yesterday.
Why isn't he promoting? That's what he should be saying, right?
Yeah,
now.
he ought to be
Come join me
saying,
tomorrow,
come join me at the beach in Wildwood tomorrow. Give a shout out to Ernie Triano. Oh, God. All right. We're going to talk to Jeff Andrew about that at 2:00. The programming starts. I've seen 2 or 2:30, Dan. I don't know what that means, whether it'll be whether it's a band or something like that that's going to play as people are on the beach. What time are you planning to rush the beaches tomorrow to be there? It opens at noon. We'll be at Mulligan's, though, until 5, and then Dan will be jogging down a mile.
No, I'm not jogging. No,
Yeah,
stop
exactly.
saying that. I don't want listeners to expect to see me running ever.
Okay. Well, Ro will be driving us
There you go.
holding the getaway car because we think there's going to be traffic. All right, it's 855-839-1210. That's how you get in on Talk Radio 1210.
And I had to start again.
Kale and Company weekday mornings 6 till 10.
Mr. President, an honor and a pleasure to have you. How you doing today?
Doing good. We have some good numbers coming out.
Mr. President, as of August 1st, a biological boy can change in a locker room, a dressing room.
It's crazy. Boys can go into girls' locker rooms. The whole thing is crazy. No, we'll get that changed. Tell your people not to worry about it. It'll be signed on day one. It'll be terminated.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. We wish you the best.
Thank you very much.
The 45th and hopefully 47th President of the United States of America.
Start your day with Kale and Company weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free. With zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit, hims.com/joy.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/250. Ramp.com/250. ramp.com/250.
All right, Zeoli Army, President Trump has called us up. It's time to storm the beaches of Wildwood. Actually, to watch the rally with me at Mulligan Shore Bar in Wildwood, New Jersey. It's going to be an incredible day this Saturday, May 11th. Mulligan Shore Bar is the place to be for this incredible event, the return of President Trump. We'll have great food, spirits, live entertainment. So join me this Saturday, Mulligan Shore Bar in Wildwood, New Jersey. I'll be there 5 to 7 p.m. For more details, visit the WPHT event page on Facebook. See you there.
In your journey back to work, we understand the barriers you may face. We have a solution to bridge that gap. No matter your background, PA CareerLink staff are here to provide personalized assistance and help you thrive. Take the first step towards a new chapter in your career journey with PA CareerLink. Visit pacareerlink.pa.gov or your local PA CareerLink office today. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Hey, Clementon. Yeah! We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. WPHT.
All right, Tom Giordano show. It's always a good sign when we're headed to the Summer White House at Mulligan's there on Hildreth tomorrow around 3 o'clock, and then Rich. So hope that you'll stop by and see what we're talking about. All right, Rotten Tomatoes has a list up, and this is very instructive. They're not saying, well, some of these films are pretty old. They're saying this is the all-time, let me see if it's a combination of critics. Yes. It's the highest rated movies of all time is reviewed and selected by Tomato Meter approved critics and Rotten Tomato users. So it's both the critics, a certain group that they have, and users of Rotten Tomatoes. So, Dan, they have 300 films all time here. And this is, I guess it's a pretty good variety, even though I completely differ with the ultimate choice. What is the number one film?
The Godfather 2?
No.
Oh, it's
No.
not? No? Oh, I thought that's where you're going with this.
No.
I thought I had the answer. What is it?
L.A. Confidential
What?
is in at 99%. The Godfather is second.
Oh, okay.
Now, wait a minute. They have them in order, but I'm not sure why 100%. I'm just going by the order they put them in, and they have L.A. Confidential.
See it too,
even
yeah.
though the percentages seem to be differing here. I'm not sure why. I guess it's a combination of the critics. So it's L.A. Confidential, they say. I don't even think Godfather should be number 2. It's Godfather 2, which is not in the top. I don't see it anywhere in the top 30 or so, and I'm going down more and more and more and more. Nothing. Wow, that's hard to believe. Godfather 2 is the greatest film.
I don't see it. Where is it? I don't see it in the top 250. There's no way. This is right.
Let's see. Some of the usual suspects: Casablanca, I could see that. Seven Samurai, Parasite, Schindler's List, Top Gun, Maverick. Whoa, wait a minute. Now that's an interesting one.
Yeah, there's no way.
I know. Look, I'm in
Come
agreement, but you're going to get listeners coming after you because they like Top Gun, Maverick. It was a burst of patriotism.
It was a good summer blockbuster film. It wasn't an all-time great
I agree.
cinema.
I agree. It doesn't rank up there. Toy Story.
So sorry, don't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah.
29 for Godfather Part 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Toy Story is number 8. which is
Toy Story 2 is number 8.
Yes.
Because number 12 is Toy Story 1.
Oh, okay.
So a cumulative ranking, I think, higher than The Godfather and Godfather sequel.
That's a little bit off here. Up, which is clever.
It's a good movie, man.
But it's delusional
It's not
about
top
climate.
20.
Is up there.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, number 21 all time.
Yeah.
Number 10, though, Dom, I think you might agree with.
On the Waterfront.
Yeah.
Yes, great film.
Yeah.
The top actors, 5 or 6 really great actors. All right, but L.A. Confidential.
Wow, I'm surprised you held yourself from doing the cab scene there.
Yeah. By the end of the show, I will. All right, we're going to talk with Michael Whatley coming up in a little bit. He is the co-chair, along with Lara Trump, of the RNC. And it says, and I'm going to ask him about that President Trump put him in there because he is Mr. Election Integrity. He's already been here in Philadelphia. He seems to think they're going to be able to have people at every polling place in Philadelphia. I got to get a pizza bet with him. If he delivers on that, that alone tells me we're going to win the election. Just to have a Republican poll watcher allowed in every polling place in Philadelphia. That's almost impossible to believe. One other thing, we had quite a back and forth when I told you about this new book out that attacked rural voters. All right, remember that? They were on Morning Joe, White Rural Rage, the Threat to American Democracy. It says that rural voters are the most racist, xenophobic, anti-immigrant, anti-gay, geo-demographic group in the country. They're the most likely to excuse or justify violence as an acceptable alternative to peaceful public discourse. Guy writing in the Washington Post, breaking this down, Nicholas Jacobs says, you want to help Trump, keep up that white rural rage stereotyping. So, Dan, we're going to be in the media section, you and I, and it says in the stuff that we got in Wildwood, you're not supposed to leave the media section if you're in the media.
Oh, really?
So I'm hoping to interview some of the media there.
Oh, yeah?
And see if I can get them.
It's like they're captive, right?
Yeah. So see if I can. I've done this before. I've gotten some biggies. Once at the Volunteer Summit, I got Tom Brokaw.
Oh.
Yeah. I didn't get Oprah. You could have gotten the president easier than Oprah there. But if we're in that media section and asked them what do they think about the event, you know, what's their thought? I'm trying to come up with a question that's provocative but not completely antagonistic. As far as this phenomena to turn out 30 to 40,000 people in Wildwood right before Mother's Day with people with all kinds of things to do, a state that's not really in play. Maybe tomorrow we'll hear how it is, but come on, it's a tough state. How in the world is that possible? How does that continue to go on? You know, this isn't a minor number of people. I think the most Trump ever drew was 50,000 to Butler, Pennsylvania. That was in 2020. That was a guesstimated crowd. It was freezing, too. How in the world do you draw? Name a politician, you know, toward the end of the campaign, the first time around, Obama would be able to draw 10,000 people, I think, maybe a little bit more. That's about the only one, you know, and I'm talking about with weeks left in the campaign, the stretch run, the history of Obama. That's it.
Dan Quayle?
Yeah. Nobody else. I mean, Joe Biden, I don't know if he's ever driven 500 people, and they're putting union members in there to flesh out the crowd. Just about anybody else on the political scene, how in the world would they draw anything like that? Some of it is because it's an event. It's fun. It's not the usual just political speech. God knows what Trump might get into. Stormy Daniels mentioned, I don't think he'll say her name. I think he will say Michael Cohen, though, or my former lawyer. I think he's going to say that a number of times. He's going to soften up the battlefield because Cohen's testifying on Monday.
So this gag order, he can't mention anything about the trial legally, can he?
Yeah, technically right. But are they going to put him in jail at this point? The judge is thinking, I only really have one more week of this, maybe. So Michael Cohen on Monday, and the first day is where the impression is put in. I'd say this is arguably at this point the most important day of the presidential race for the following reason. If Michael Cohen gets dusted, really dusted in this, and it appears that 2, 3, or 4 people can say, no, I can't go with anything on this, Trump is going to have no legal problems facing him then. And what does that mean? It means that Biden's going to have to do something remarkable in order to win. If Cohen survives somehow or another and is somewhat believable, which seems hard to believe, and there is a conviction, let's say the jurors go into a mode, Dan, saying, look, he didn't do all this stuff, but he did something. If they go into the jury room with that mindset and they convict Trump on one count, Democrats will celebrate. It's not about the number of counts. It's about saying convicted felon officially. That's all that they want. That's the only thing that matters. Doesn't matter he goes to jail, nothing else matters. Either he's unconvicted or he's convicted. Politically, that's all that matters. If they go into the jury room with that mindset, then they're going to convict him of something. If Cohen gets, as I believe he will, just battered here on this, you're going to see a few people that are going to hold out. They're not going to convict on anything. And we'll know probably 2 weeks from today, possibly. And that will be a big determinant of what's going to happen. Because if Trump is convicted, it's going to erode a bit of support. It's going to tighten things up. If he's not, then he's got a more comfortable spot as we head forward. All right, 855-839-1210. Michael Whatley, Big Issues, Big Guest, the new co-chair of the RNC. And I'll ask you afterwards, are you starting to feel comfortable that they are going to preserve election integrity as best you can? Or are you still in the camp that says, nah, they're going to cheat? Yeah, they're going to try to. Can they do enough to turn the election? That's what this guy is in there. That's what he's about. He's next here. Hey, 2 NBA playoffs. FanDuel, in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, is giving all customers 2 chances to bring home a big win with a no-sweat same-game parlay every weekend of the playoffs. Just place the same-game parlay on any playoff matchup. You'll get bonus bets back if you don't win. Bet on everything from rebounds to assists to three-pointers and more. Visit FanDuel.com/DOM, D-O-M, and shoot your shot on America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. You have to be 21 plus, present in Pennsylvania. Minimum 3-leg parlay required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expires 7 days after receipt. Max refund, $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER.
And nothing else matters.
Do you feel like you're going through life clouded by doubt? Talk to California Psychics. Our trusted and accurate psychics are available 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Right now, new customers get 80% off their first reading. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
You can host the best backyard barbecue when you find a professional on Angie to make your backyard the best around. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Before I went to law school, I worked for the telephone company and was a card-carrying member of CWA and AFL-CIO. Unions play a powerful role in protecting workers' rights. I spent a lot of time in union halls building this firm 30 years ago. We represented many union members and workers, and I call many across the country my brothers and sisters. If you ever need our help, we're just a call away. There's only one Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Get ready to hit it out of the park every time you fire up the grill this spring with Hatfield. Swing into action with Hatfield's variety of marinated pork, ground pork and sausage, ham, bacon, and your favorite Hatfield Phillies Franks. With over 24 distinct flavors that can be ready in minutes, Hatfield pork is food you'll feel good about serving. From home or at the ballpark, find your flavor with Hatfield, the official pork provider of the Phillies. Visit simplyhatfield.com for recipes and to find a retailer near you.
Don't pay retail for your diamond engagement ring or gift. Come to cleanorigin.com. That's cleanorigin.com. Weather sponsored by the Ardent Theater.
It is a dreary finish to the work week with plenty of clouds, off and on showers. It'll be breezy and cool with a high only 56. Tonight, drying out, mostly cloudy with a low 47. And for Saturday, partly to mostly cloudy. It'll be milder with a high 66.
Don't miss Ardent Children's Theater's modern retelling of the classic tale Pinocchio, adapted by Greg Banks. A wooden boy, a nose that grows, a huge whale, and a cricket with a lot of opinions. On stage now. Info at ardenttheater.org.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
All right, Tom Giordano Show, big issues, big guest. I know how concerned people are with the election count, not just getting the vote in, but the actual count and how it goes down, et cetera. We've talked to Laura Trump, who's one of the RNC co-chairs. Michael Whatley is brought in by President Trump, handpicked, because he in 2020 was one of the most vocal about pushing back on any number of things the Democrats were doing. I saw him recently say they already have 84 lawsuits ongoing. They're putting a lot of money into this to try to cut Democrat shenanigans off at the pass. First interview on the station. Happy to bring in Michael Whatley. Chairman, welcome to Philadelphia. Hey, Chairman Whatley, welcome to the Dom Giordano Show and welcome to Philadelphia.
Really appreciate the opportunity to chat with you.
We know we have the big Trump rally in Wildwood this Saturday. Are you going to be there? Are you quarterbacking any part of it?
You know, I'm excited. I am really excited about what we've got going on in New Jersey. I mean, when you think about where we're playing offense right now, you know, every time the president says, I want to play offense in New Jersey, I want to play offense in New York. You know, Joe Biden and his team are playing defense everywhere, right? When you look around the map, you look around the polls, we're winning nationally. We're winning in every single battleground state. We're winning in Pennsylvania. You know, that's where we want to be playing. And the fact that the president is going to have a absolutely huge crowd in New Jersey, of all places, just kind of shows you that he is the candidate for every American all across the country.
Well, and I think what President Biden said in the CNN interview a day or two ago with Erin Burnett, he's playing defense in Michigan. And, you know, I know the president won it in 2016, but I know that's probably the most difficult state out of that blue wall because we're going to win here in Pennsylvania. We know that. Talk Radio 12 knows that. So that's evidence of it to tell our ally they can't use Congress-approved munitions that are supposed to be going to them. He's going to stop that. That's Michigan mainly and some other states.
Yeah, well, it is absolutely appalling that he is absolutely leaving Israel hung out to dry. You know, you think about where we are with that country. It's the only democracy in the Middle East. It's been our historical ally out there, and it is so important for us. You know, the guy goes on stage and gives a speech and says that his support for Israel is ironclad, and literally a day later says, I'm not going to send them the munitions that they need to be able to protect themselves and get rid of Hamas. You know, Hamas has still got Israeli hostages and American hostages, and they want to talk about a ceasefire. You know, we need to eradicate Hamas, and we need to do everything as a country that we can to help Israel in this fight.
We're talking with the new co-chair of the RNC, Watley, Chairman Watley, joining us here on Talk Radio 1210. When I read your background a while ago, before all this happened, you probably know in talk radio, one of the key issues with our listeners is election integrity. Pennsylvania in 2020 was ground zero with this Secretary of State who got fired ultimately because of what she was engaged in here. And your background is in this. So give us an idea. We've talked to Lara Trump about it too, of some of the things you're doing proactively to set up for 2024.
Yeah, when you think about election integrity, there's really kind of two fronts to the war. The first is what happens before Election Day, before people start voting. And what you want to do is you want to have the right rules of the road in place. You want to have things like voter ID. You want to make sure that only American citizens can vote. You want to make sure that we have clean voter rolls. You want to make sure that if we're going to have mail-in balloting, that it's going to be protected, right? So you need a signature, you need a witness, you can't have drop boxes, things like that. So we're working right now and have been for a while to make sure that the rules of the road in all of our states are going to be the right rules of the road. And we got to make sure that we're working with legislators and governors and secretaries of state on those issues. And if they won't work with us, then we're going to file lawsuits. We've actually filed 84 lawsuits around the country to make sure that we have these types of common sense election integrity provisions in place. You know, this is not a conspiracy theory. This is not, you know, a wild, far-fetched thing. These are basic provisions on election integrity that over 70% of all voters, including Democrats, support all across the country. The second front that we want to be fighting on is we want to make sure when it comes time to vote and when it comes time to counting the votes, we are in the room. We want to have attorneys and volunteers in the room when the votes are being cast and when they're being counted. So we are setting up the largest program in the country, in the history, to be able to recruit 100,000 volunteers all across the country who are going to be trained, and they're going to go serve as volunteer ballot, you know, protection folks to be observers when they're voting and when they're counting.
I think that's big lessons learned from 2020, and I've told listeners about you. I researched you, and you have been one of the people. That's one of the reasons you're the chair there. I have a lot of faith in you. Are you aware, Chairman Watley, though, of the difficulties here in Philadelphia? I'm in Philadelphia all my life. This is, there are a couple of other cities, but they're not in the ultimate swing state. People tell me maybe 40 or 50% of polling places historically do not have a Republican representative there.
Yeah, you know, and I actually had a meeting with my election integrity team and the Pennsylvania GOP in Philadelphia a few weeks ago to sit down and have this particular conversation and understand what it is that we're facing there and to try and figure out how we're going to bring the resources in to make sure that we do have those observers and we do have those election workers because it is so critical for us to be in the room. And when you think about kind of the pressure points for us around the country, it's places like Phoenix and Atlanta and Philadelphia that we really want to make sure we have these programs up and running the right way.
Well, we're here. You know, we've talked before, but whenever you or RNC wants to come on and help recruit people, we're putting it out there. We're aware, and we have people that want to do it. Yesterday, and
you know, I'll tell you right now that your listeners can go to protectthevote.com. Protectthevote.com is a website that we have set up so that people can specifically sign up. You can tell us what state, you can tell us what county you're in, and then we will get training materials to you. We will get you signed up to come in and take a training session, and then we'll work to shift you and make sure that you get in there and that you can help. But I'll tell you, the president himself has been touting this website at all of his rallies lately, and we're seeing a huge uptick in people that are going on and signing up to be on our ballot protection team.
That is great news. One item I think I'd really want you to comment on. MSNBC had this gaggle of their pundits on in the last couple of days, and the independents, which are always key, found that President Biden, they believe, was a bigger threat to democracy than President Trump. Of course, that's going to be the driving force, that and abortion. But this threat to democracy, you got to get out and vote. And they were stunned by this. What do you tell us is happening with independents?
Well, what we're seeing right now is they're taking a look at America during the 4 years of President Trump and the 4 years under Joe Biden, and they don't like what they see. And they certainly do not like the fact that Joe Biden and his allies have weaponized the courts all across the country to go after President Trump and his allies and try and take him off the ballot, try and take him off the campaign trail. This is backfiring big time right now, and it is a true threat to democracy. These are actions that we are only seeing in banana republics before this election cycle. And so I'm not surprised that we're seeing it in the polls. I'm very happy that we're seeing it in the polls, but it is absolutely unbelievable the steps that Joe Biden and his team are taking to try and get President Trump off the ballot. And they're doing it because they know they can't win on the issues. You think about every single issue set that's out there. Think about the southern border, 10 million illegal immigrants that have come across the border. Think about inflation, the fact that people are paying 20% more for grocery prices, for housing prices, for gasoline prices, and they're not making 20% more than they did 4 years ago. These are things that hurt American families. They hurt Republican families, Democrat families, and independent families all across the country. So, yeah, we're seeing right now a major move in lots of different voting blocks. The independents, we're seeing a major shift in Black voters. We're seeing a major shift in Hispanic voters. We're seeing a major shift in voters between 18 and 24. President Trump is actually leading in that voting group. That's the first time I've ever seen a Republican candidate winning in that group.
Absolutely. Chairman, thank you very much. And, I've heard a lot about you. Hope to meet you sometime, but please come back. And particularly on election integrity, already I see the signs that this time around we learned a lot of the lessons. We're going to make sure this is a fair election.
Absolutely. And look, we'll be on as often as we can and definitely look forward to meeting in person.
Thank you. Thanks, Chairman Whatley. Thanks for joining us.
Take care.
All right, big issues, big guests here with Dom. We're wired in with them. I have a lot of confidence in this guy and where Laura and Trump are going. Have they learned the lessons of the past? 84 lawsuits and all this. I know expectations. You just want to stop these Democrat cheaters. I do too. And I think these people are on it. But it's a never-ending battle. This is what they do. This is what they're up to. I'm reading a piece today from Cutler and the other Republicans at Delaware Valley Journal. They want to roll back more protections, and they want to take away some of the protections that were put in even to combat mail-in balloting. This is the battle. It's not for the faint of heart. It's about one thing, winning. All right, coming up to that point, how much did Josh Shapiro have to do with this? This poor cop doing his job, pulling over some woman who says, I work with the mayor. I'm LGBTQ.
Oh,
Remember that?
I remember that.
On a rainy Saturday. What was it, about 7 weeks ago? He's no longer, Steve Keeley reports, a Pennsylvania cop.
Oh,
We'll tell you what went into this.
March 2nd is when it happened.
Oh, March 2nd. It's been a little while, almost 2 months. Okay. Doing his job with people violating the law, apparently. He's no longer a cop. The head of his union says it's reprehensible. You remember this one. More details coming up, particularly somebody who says, you know who I am, essentially. Oh, man. We have Dan for that. He just says, you know who that is. That's even
You don't
worse.
ever use that, Dom? You don't know who I am?
Oh, God, no.
Ever go down to South Philly?
No. If caught doing that, Roe would divorce me for that. That's it right there. That's it.
Try to break into the big Christmas factory in July and say, do you know who I am?
Yeah, get them out of here. All right, 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. It's so important to make sure our families have the essentials: food, shelter, and, of course, pure, clean drinking water. A lot of news about drinking water these days. Do what I did. Count on Martin Water Conditioning to secure your family's drinking water. The Connecticut system removes all the impurities from your water. What comes out of the tap? Crystal clear, all natural water. Not only is it the best tasting water ever, it provides peace of mind knowing that your family's water is pure and clean. The Martin Water Conditioning family is passionate about water. They'll put their 46 years of experience to work for you. Their customer service, attention to detail, fantastic. They'll come out to your home, test your water, and recommend solutions that make sense for you. Contact Martin Water Conditioning. They'll take great care of you. Click on martinwater.com. It's easy. Dwayne is our guy. They got a number of people. They're just tremendous. You'll see the difference with Martin Water. Call 800-887-7555. 800-887-7555. Tell them Dom G sent you.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
Mr. President, an honor and a pleasure to have you. How you doing today?
Doing good. We have some good numbers coming out.
Mr. President, as of August 1st, a biological boy can change in a locker room, a dressing room.
It's crazy. Boys can go into girls' locker rooms. The whole thing is crazy. No, we'll get that changed. Tell your people not to worry about it. It'll be signed on day one. It'll be terminated.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. We wish you the best.
Thank you very much.
The 45th and hopefully 47th President of the United States of America.
Start your day with Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. You may know me from my book, Money Hacks. You may know me from my radio shows, and you may even know me from some of these commercials. But listen, I'm teaching stuff that people need to learn about money. In fact, my favorite topic is money. So go to investorschooling.com and you will learn things about money that you never even knew existed. We will teach you things about real estate, about the stock market, and about how to use your IRAs properly. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of hearing about the recession that's coming? Are you prepared for it? Well, listen, at investorschooling.com, we're going to teach you ways to prepare for the recession that you didn't even know existed. We're going to teach you strategies on how to use real estate. We're going to teach you strategies how to use the stock market properly. That's right. You could even make money in the stock market when the stock market goes down. Hey, go to investorschooling.com and register for a free class this Thursday night, and you will learn all of these techniques. Go to investorschooling.com right now. RSVP for this Thursday. We'll see you there.
For over a decade, NJ Diet has helped thousands of people lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days. That's nearly twice as fast as weight loss injections and without any of those nasty side effects. NJ Diet uses your hair and saliva along with scans to personalize natural solutions and supplements to get you to shed that fat quickly. Then, NJ Diet uses your DNA info to help you keep the weight off. Call 855-5NJ-DIET or go to NJDiet.com. Get slimmer before the summer with NJ Diet.
Hi, everyone. Stephanie here from Emmons. You know, a great way to spring out of those winter blues is by upgrading the favorite place in your home, your bathroom. Emmons will give you an affordable, modest bathroom refresh with synthetic stone surrounds in as little as 1 day. That's right, 1 day. And Emmons will include interior design consultations at no cost to you. This is an easy way to spruce up your bathroom without having to break the bank. Call Emmons today at 856-885-6677 or check out our website at callemmons.com.
La 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 la.
Oops. Ever had your singing lessons cut short by icy water?
Oh, I'm sorry, honey.
Say goodbye to those cold notes with Navien tankless water heaters. With Navien, you'll hit all the right notes without the surprise chill. So keep singing and let Navien keep the hot water flowing. And get ready for the encore when you get your utility bill.
La 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 la.
Navien tankless water heaters. Visit tanklessmadesimple.com.
Here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
All right, great side question today. I have to give credit to Dan or discredit if it doesn't pan out between now and 3 o'clock, of course. His name is on this. Sometimes it's a shared thing. Sometimes it's me. Sometimes he objects and it's still me, but sometimes it's his. And this one is, which is you're only in the mood for this song if you're at the beach, resort, in that kind of mood. One of those songs. I said Margaritaville. Dan was under the boardwalk. Hit us with yours because tomorrow it'll be on our mind with President Trump in town. Let's go to Robert in Bensalem, who's been waiting.
If you don't like that,
hey, Robert.
I'll take snaps for everything and I'll be on my fucking merry way. I'm not doing anything that.
Seems like a personal conversation.
Yeah, I was going to let it go there. That was an interest, but I don't want to go too far. Joe of Exton on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Joe, welcome in.
Yes, hello, Don, and happy Friday to you. So then, I'm relaxing on the beach, enjoying the sun and the sound of waves crashing. My radio is playing music, and a song comes on called There's a Summer Place.
Tell us about it, Joe. You're rolling. Keep going.
There's a summer place.
I like it.
Nicely played.
Good job, Joe.
Good job,
Almost
Joe.
as good as the South Street song.
Yes. That was impromptu, too. Thank you, Joe. There's a summer place. Dan, I didn't think he was going to go there. I thought he was going to.
I didn't know there was worse to this song.
I didn't know Joe liked going to the beach from Exton. It's a strange place that he ended up in Exton. He ought to be on Rittenhouse Square or.
What kind of bathing suit does Joe wear?
Or,
is he wearing one of those striped one pieces from back in like the 30s? The black and white stripes? Well, I guess they're not black and white. It's just pictures are black and white.
All right. So we have this Pennsylvania State Police cop, right? Suddenly, we're told, Steve Keeley reporting, he's no longer a state cop. He's the one on, as Dan said, March 2nd. He got into it with this couple. There seemed to be several violations. He's tussling with the guy.
That is my husband. That's my husband. That's my husband, please. It's okay, baby. That is my husband. Why are you doing this? It's okay. No, baby, it's okay. Don't worry about it. I'm going to get hit. Do not. I work for the mayor. I work for the mayor. Go. I work for the mayor.
All right. So that you remember that conversation. And here the guy, Dan, tussling with a guy who won't stay in his car. The guy might be boxed in. He's out there by himself. I don't know where the sound came from. Remember, they didn't have at that point, they didn't have the ability to transmit a video of what was going on. And now the guy's no longer a cop. And then you know what the state police said? We have nothing more to say about this. He's no longer a cop. We don't talk about personnel matters. What? This guy was a lieutenant, too. The trooper, who we declined to identify, is no longer employed by our agency. He could not comment further. We don't comment on personnel matters. Isn't this always the great phrase? We don't comment on anything, you ought to say. That's it. Get the hell out of here. And I think this guy was just trying to do his job here with several potential violations. The traffic is whizzing by. That's 676. He could have been rolled into traffic with the guy he was struggling with there. They dismiss him. Is there any outcry? His union says it's reprehensible. Well, kind of what are you going to do about it? Did Josh Shapiro do this? Is that what this is about? Look, if this guy was adjudicated to have done something wrong, something violative, that process should have played out. Did they tell him, hey, you don't really want to go through what's going to happen to you? How's a guy at a lieutenant level suddenly no longer with the state police? Well, it's because he doesn't have people in his corner. Not like the other side has, apparently, city government, Shapiro, the Inquirer, the usual mob saying, how could you do this? How could you do what here? Based upon the evidence that we have. We'll talk about it more, but Jeff Van Drew is in the on-deck circle to give us the final word, final touches on what's happening tomorrow for the big Trump rally. He's straight ahead here on Talk Radio 1210.
Hey, Dawn Stensland here. You've heard me talk about Chapman Windows, Doors, and Siding, how much I love my new patio doors. You know by now, if I needed windows, doors, or siding, I'd only trust the Chapman team. If you're thinking of updating your current siding or removing your current stucco and replacing it with siding, think Chapman. With the new updated siding choices available, the curb appeal of your home will pop. If you currently have stucco, updating it with James Hardy plank or vinyl siding will truly add value to your home. If you're looking to sell, you can bet buyers will value updated new siding. And right now would be a good time to get ahead of the ball and plan your siding project for 2024. The certified Chapman installers are the folks you want on the job. If you or someone you know are looking for windows, doors, siding, stucco remediation, shutters, or hardware, give them a call or text them 610-431-8898, ChapmanWindowsDoors.com. Chapman, the name I trust. Tell them Dawn sent you.
You're in pain, admit it, but Topperson can change your life for the better. We help back, neck, and shoulder pain, arm or leg pain, arthritis, and just plain old wear and tear. If you or someone you love is suffering, try Topperson. Topperson Natural Pain Relief Cream is safe, moisturizing, and odor-free. Available at quality pharmacies and natural markets throughout Greater Philadelphia and at Amazon, Walmart, and Topperson.com. End your suffering today. Topperson, rub it in. Use only as directed.
Just like our offensive line protects our star quarterback, plumbers protect the health of the nation, and Philadelphia Plumbers Union Local 690 is no different. In hospitals, commercial, industrial, and residential, with the best trained plumbers in the world, you can be sure your project is done on time and on budget, no matter how big or small. So when your business needs to build new or expand existing facilities, you can count on the members of Plumbers Union Local 690. Visit plumbers690.org.
Thanks for calling Toyota. This is Jan.
Hi, Jan. I just adopted a new best friend, and I'm looking for a Toyota so we can make the most out of summer.
With a new RAV4, you can take your pup for a drive up the coast. You can take a Prius to the park for some tug of war. Or you can take a Tundra to kayak at a remote lake.
One problem, Jan.
Oh?
My new best friend's a cat.
Your summer starts here, but it all ends June 3rd. Toyota, let's go places. Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details.
If you're in the restaurant, hospitality, or casino business and you're not using a PDQ POS system, it's time to make the switch. PDQ POS will not only save you time, effort, and money, but it's the fastest, easiest, and most reliable POS available. That's why PDQ POS has been the top-rated restaurant management system for over 35 years. Whether you have a single location restaurant or thousands of locations, PDQ can help your business succeed. Visit PDQPOS.com.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new break you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really help me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-499-1216. 800-499-1216. 800-499-1216.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
It is Dom time, last hour of the week, right before the big getaway to Wildwood. Hope to see you there tomorrow. Dan and I will be in the media section. All right, we should be pretty visible, but first we'll be over at Mulligan's, 3 until 5, right there at Hildreth and Park, and I'm expecting a really good crowd of Talk Radio 1210 listeners. And then Rich will be there 5 to 7. The man who really quarterbacked all of this. I mean, we talked to Ernie Triano, and the mayor of Wildwood had to be part of this, but the man who convinced President Trump in the middle of this unbelievably ferocious schedule that is remarkable to come to Wildwood. Was it the sandy beaches? Was it the song? What is it?
The song, yeah. Trump heard the song. He's like, I got to come. Yeah.
Did Trump like the boardwalk? Is it the pizza? Let's go to Congressman Jeff Andrew. We never asked you that. What was the final selling point to get President Trump to Wildwood exactly?
Well, as you know, 5 years ago, I made a very big decision that the Democratic Party had left me and that it was time for me to move on. I didn't necessarily expect that I'd even run for office again. In fact, thought I probably would not. President Trump had his people call me up. I sat down with them. True story, in the White House. Spent a long time with me. I mean, over an hour and a half, talking about family, friendship, freedom, the love of the United States of America, and the future of this country for our children and grandchildren. And he said, I'll stand with you shoulder to shoulder as you go through this, because it's not going to be easy. And he did. He kept his word. As you know, I ran against Amy Kennedy, Ted Kennedy's daughter-in-law. They outspent me 10 to 15 times to 1, and I still won. And he always stood by me. And then part of that standing by me was coming to my district, coming to the Jersey Shore, and having the amazing rally that we had 5 years ago. He remembers it. Everybody remembers it. It was just, and this one's going to be just as good. It was a great time. It was a time where we all talked about not only the issues and ideas, but celebrated America. And that's what we're going to be doing again. I think he wanted to relive the magic. I know I wanted to relive the magic. And I believe New Jerseyans and Philadelphians and Pennsylvanians and New Yorkers, all who come to this from the tri-state area, wanted to relive the magic. So he told me, I talked to him this summer, and I said, we got to do this thing again. And he said, absolutely. I want to win New Jersey. I want you to head up the campaign for the state, and I want to come back. And this is not going to be the only time that he's back in New Jersey for sure.
Oh, without a doubt. Now, any developments? You and I have quarterbacked all this thanks to your great people and Trump people working on this. We hear that programming starts at 2:00. Some of that will be going on?
Correct. So the doors open at 12. And it's funny, it's the doors to the beach.
Yeah.
But still, with the only thing that can limit the number of people getting there isn't the size of the venue because it's on the beach. It's just how many people can go through the metal detector. So they're trying to expedite that and make that as good as possible so everybody can share in this. Yes, but there'll be a pre-program, and I'm going to actually end up wrapping up. The president asked me to wrap up the pre-program before the actual program occurs. So there will be music early on and entertainment. Then there'll be the pre-program with some reasons of why we're there and how we're going to win. That's what I'm going to talk about. And then the program itself. And the president told me he's going to call me up for a few minutes as well, which I'm honored just to speak a tiny bit because this is his show. I love to talk, as you know, Dom. Sometimes you got to.
I think you ought to come up with a glass of scotch at that point. Come on now.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh man, I will by the time this is all over. But it'll be great, and I'll speak at that a little bit, and just about. I want to speak a little. He's going to talk about the issues better than anybody can. I'm going to speak a little bit about Trump, the man, Trump, the person who stuck by me when conventional wisdom and most of the media said this guy doesn't have a shot in the world of winning re-election because he turned party. The Republicans won't trust him. The Democrats will hate him, and the independents won't vote for him. And they were wrong. And President Trump stuck with me, even though for a little while there it looked a little bleak. But he believed, and I believed, and I remember that. And I want to talk about that guy that I've had dinner with for a few hours at a time, the guy that I spoke to in the White House when I really first got to know him. I'd met him, Dom, when I was a state senator, and we cut ribbons for some of his facilities in Atlantic City. But getting to know him, I wish every single American could sit down with him. And I know he's brash, But when you sit down with him and you talk with him, the way he treats his staff as people, the way that he speaks with people, the experiences he's had, and his love for America. At the end of the day, all of this is about, do we love America? And I don't know, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be mean-spirited. I don't know that I can say that for Joe Biden. I know that I can say it for Donald Trump. And the second part of it is, where were we 4 years ago and where are we now? And that's all I need to know. And I think that's what most Americans need to know.
Absolutely. It is a fabulous setting. If you could tell listeners, I mean, I've had him on the air a couple times, once telling me to play the Trump golf course with him. You can remind him we're ready to go on that. Once in the Oval Office, and I saw what you're saying, how he treats his staff, et cetera there. I have to say it was the most entertaining I've ever been around of anybody at that level, including telling a fellow talk show host, a female congressman, this is the chair I put dictators in. Come on and sit in this one over here. You just don't, and taking the chair to her in the Oval Office, you just don't get anything like that. What would you say is the most maybe underplayed thing? We know a lot of the stuff about Trump that you've experienced that listeners would too if they were around him.
So much is underplayed because the media just doesn't want to tell the whole story. I mean, we get that he's brash and sometimes he says things that not everybody loves. But you know what? When you get to know him, you realize, as I said before, he truly loves America and the American experience. And he really loves people. And he's really a funny guy. And you're right. I mean, I've met other presidents, and they're all great in different ways. Joe Biden, I've only shook his hand. I've never had a prolonged conversation with him, but I'm not sure anybody ever has in recent years. But he really, truly wants to see Americans and America do well. He really, truly loves the Republic. He understands we're at a crossroads. I want people to think about this. In modern history, every single president has come out of the presidency and honestly been a wealthier person than they were when they went in. Donald Trump lost money by being a president. He didn't collect his salary. Nobody ever talks about it. But if he was a greedy guy, he still could have taken his salary, didn't do it. He just was there because he saw. This is interesting if you talk to him at length about it. When he was a businessman, he saw that how America, the United States of America, was always getting the short end of the deal. In very plain, blunt English, we were always getting screwed with foreign affairs, domestic things that we were doing, that the American people were getting the short end of the stick, and he got tired of it. He knew that's not what he would do as a business. So I think when he first ran, I don't know that he was sure he wanted to do it. The more he got into it, the more he realized that. So I guess if anything, to answer your question directly, I wish every American could really see and feel how much he loves America and its people and regular people, average people, working people, blue collar people, and professional people. But, I guess we're known as the deplorables by some people on the Democratic side. I think he doesn't see us as the deplorables, but sees us as hard-working Americans in the greatest country that ever was.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for all of this. Our listeners, as you know, are thrilled. If you're not doing anything, certainly get over to Mulligan's at 3:00. We'll have all the scotch you want, or a little bit later on, Congressman. But this is going to be a once-in-a-lifetime event. Thank you for doing it.
Thank you for letting everybody know about it. And thank you for the work that you do, letting everybody know about what's happening in this region of our country, in our country, and in our world. And I mean it, Dom. Thank you.
Thanks, Congressman. See you tomorrow.
You got it. Take care.
Congressman Jeff Van Drew here on Talk Radio 1210. All right, there's your guideposts for tomorrow. I hope that you're going to turn out. Again, we'll be talking about on Monday. You don't want to say, oh, how did we miss that, particularly at our clubhouse, Mulligan's. It's a wonderful story, Dan. I have to give a shout out to our mutual friend, Harry Hurley, though, because look, when I told you about Jeff Van Drew, I was going on, he was a big supporter of the Second Amendment. When he was a Democrat switching over. In talk radio, you're not allowed to do that. You got to say, no, you can't trust this guy. Come on. Harry Hurley, the voice of the Jersey Shore, assured us up and down. That's good enough. He knew him for years, Dan. And when he made that changeover, it was heartfelt that he was going from a moderate Democrat in the past to where the party had gone completely the other way. And he's become a leading force in the Trump Republican Party.
I think a lot of people in his district recognize when he was a state senator, Jeff Van Drew, a lot of the issues that he would fall down upon, local issues, almost was lockstep with Frank Lobiando, a longtime congressman, Republican congressman of the area. So when he was elected as Democrat, a lot of Republicans actually went over to the Democratic side to elect Jeff Van Drew, knowing his track history on local issues are more conservative than not. And believe it or not, I like Maisie's dad, I think, voted for, and he's a super hardcore conservative, voted for Van Drew, knowing his record on gun rights and all. And it was kind of expected for him to eventually move over to the right.
Then there are the suits. I'm sure there's a special suit for tomorrow. I can't see Trump coming with beachwear tomorrow of one sort or another, given everything. All right. So let's go to Robert in Ben Salem on Talk Radio 1210 on our side question. All right, Robert, what's the beach song or the thing that you only can enjoy at the beach?
Hi, Dom. Dan, It's good to talk to you. I apologize for my conversation
that's
earlier.
okay. That's okay.
Now, for me, the summer and going to the beach was always about listening to the Phillies game. So that was always on my radio, but I understand that might not be an acceptable answer. So if that's not acceptable, I want to go with the theme from Jaws just because I'm in that kind of a mood today. But it's always fun, man. You guys have a great weekend, okay?
Thank you, Robert.
I love that answer of Phillies game, man.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's the only time people may listen on the radio. They watch on TV, but if they're going to be in the backyard doing something beach, that's when they put the radio on.
I'm the weird guy that if I watch the game, I usually mute the TV and turn it on the radio.
Well, yeah, I can
sync it up with the commentary.
Yeah. All right, so we got the side question going on, 855-839-1210. Congressman Waltz is going to be back with us at 2:30. Should they attempt to impeach Joe Biden? I told Alan West, I understand the principle of it, what he's doing with Israel, but no. That would be a distraction. They're on the ropes. They're on the ropes at this point. Just follow through, get through this trial, and all the rest is a good pathway. But right now, one final time this week, it is time for...
It's Dom's Money Melody.
The money gone.
Absolutely. Today we are playing once again for your Philadelphia Eagles a pair of tickets to the Philadelphia Eagles Women's Football Festival, May 19th. At Lincoln Financial Field, the ultimate Eagles event with a focus on women, football, and fun. This year's Women's Football Festival will kick off with a welcome address from Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts. For more information, visit PhiladelphiaEagles.com/womensfest.
Yeah, Dom, today we are asking a side question of what's a song that you can only enjoy at the shore. It's not a bad song per se. It's just you only have the taste, the thirst for it when you're down the shore. And Dom, I think this one applies, especially for our audience, hearing it nonstop the past week and a half or so. And we'll probably hear it in a couple weeks again as we descend upon Mulligans again. But Dom, I'm playing a song that you've heard over and over again. Wow, my mic's very hot there. Sorry about that. Over and over again, and we want to know, Dom, what language it's being sung in. So today might be easy, but we want to know what language this very popular song's being sung in. 855-839-1210 to win that award. Here you go.
Quand vient les beaux jours, tout est merveilleux. Lorsque l'on est deux et qu'on flirte un peu. Oh, 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 quand viennent les vacances.
Oh, baby, didn't translate into that language. Okay.
Oh, no, we're not looking for English. Come on, don't be smart here.
All right, 855-839-1210. Jump on board. Hit us. What language is that? Jump in with that, and you are off to see the Eagles and Jalen Hurts at this special women's festival. 855-839-1210 is how you get on board.
Your weekend just got a lot better. Sunday mornings with Barry Sable and friends.
I wish my mom was around one more time to tell me clean your room, or my dad taking me to Levis's for that special hot dog and a cherry chocolate Coke. And then, Dad, can I borrow the keys? Big date tonight. Come on, Dad. He never said no. So many fond memories. If you're fortunate to have your grandparents and parents, don't take it for granted.
Barry Sable and friends. Listen Sunday mornings at 10 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
Although you try not to, most of us have used an ATM out of network. And at the end, you get that notice that it's going to cost you $4 extra.
Are you kidding me?
So you're paying money to get your own money. It makes you crazy. In retirement, you're going to want to use that 401k, but every time you dip into it, you have to pay taxes. Here we go again. You have to pay money to get your own money.
Oh, come on!
Jim Cipriotti and the Retire Ready Financial Group believes that every retirement plan needs a tax plan. Without it, you're using Uncle Sam's plan. And do you really think that's going to work in your favor? Call Retire Ready Financial Group today at 610-894-7415. That's 610-894-7415 and schedule a complimentary retirement consultation. Or you can find them online at retirereadyfg.com. Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC, NPN number 2083768.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 1039 FM.
More than 30 people are arrested as police clear out the pro-Palestinian protest encampment on the Penn campus. Israel says it might proceed with an attack on Rafah despite the U.S. refusing to provide weapons for it. And a driver is shot to death in southwest Philly last night. A child in the car is wounded.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Hi, it's Rich Zioli. I'm joined here today by my friend, the co-president and CEO of Cooper University Healthcare, the one and only Dr. Anthony Mazzarelli. Dr. Maz and I are here to tell you about our buddy, Dr. Mike Venaria. Not only is he my dentist, he's my family's dentist as well. And not sure if you knew this, he's Dr. Maz's dentist too.
That's right, Rich. Dr. Mike Venaria is and has been my dentist also. And, doctors choosing doctors, that can be quite a selective process. And not only do I go to them, but for years, my sister and my niece and my nephew, the whole family goes.
Well, it's no secret. We're all delighted by the care that Dr. Mike Venaria and his award-winning team provide, and you need to check him out.
Whether you're looking for pediatric, general, cosmetic, implant dentistry, you don't need to look any further. Dr. Venaria's office does everything. Dr. Venaria's office also exceeds all CDC guidelines and has always maintained the strictest infection control, like their centralized UV sterilization of airflow, which is incredibly important to me.
Locations are right over the bridge in Cinnaminson and Woodbury. Your perfect smile's waiting. Call 856-786-2020 or visit venariadental.com.
You know your customers. Ralph likes his coffee black on Fridays, but Mondays he takes a little cream. Jennifer comes in every 3 years when her lease is up to get the newer and better model. And for some reason, pepperoni pizza sells like crazy on Friday nights. Who knew? At Odyssey, we have the expertise to get your media plan done right. With ads like you're hearing right now, to targeted social media campaigns, search engine optimization, and location-based advertising. Advertise with Odyssey and help us grow your business. Visit ads.odyssey.com.
Free speech lives here.
The Dom Giordano program.
On Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
It's Dom Money Melody.
Where's all the money gone?
Show me the money.
That's right. It is Dom's Money Melody. Let's hear the clue and tell us what language is this Wildwood Days in.
Oh, quand viennent les vacances et quand vient l'été, oh baby, chaque jour est comme un dimanche et chaque nuit on ne pense qu'à danser. Oh, quand viennent les vacances et quand vient l'été, on a enfin la chance de pouvoir s'amuser.
All right, let's go to Lisa in Maryland. All right, Lisa, what's the language?
I don't know about that language. It sounds like French to me, but I also want...
Go ahead, Lisa.
Is it French?
Yes, it is French. Yes.
Great. Also, I wanted to tell you the song, your side question for the song on the beach is the Beach Boys, Surfer Girl. And also...
Go ahead.
I'm sorry?
Go ahead, Lisa.
Also, I wanted to ask you if you could give Scott Pressler a shout out for tomorrow on the beach, and maybe he can round up a nice sized crew, voter registration, prior to and after the rally, because Scott will tell you any data that he looks at now shows that anybody registering at this point, or the majority, I should say, registering at this point, are Trump voters.
Without a doubt. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. Well, Lisa's the winner. Dan, we haven't asked Scott if he's coming to this rally. I thought he would tell us, right?
Yeah,
I haven't seen it on his
surprising,
Twitter.
yeah.
I was hoping he'd be there. It's a good opportunity. By the way, I did see him tweet out today, Scott Presler, our guy, that they're very, very close to turning the registration of Bucks County from slightly blue to red. If that happens, to Lisa's point, that's a really good indicator of a big change. It should inspire people. You can say, well, what difference does it make? It's only if, you know what? It's Herculean to get that done. So I'm hoping Scott will be there. I know there'll be a lot of vote processing and stuff going on at this event, 30,
I
40,000
just
people.
texted Pressler. He is actually going to be heading down there. He's on the way now.
Oh.
On the way out here from wherever he is, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought, he would communicate that, but he's got a lot of balls in the air. So, yeah.
Don't know how high of a priority we are.
Oh, come on now, Dan. Well, we promote him second to none. So, yeah, he ought to be telling us his every move. All right, so Scott Presler will be there. You'll be able to see him. The long hair, about 6'5", boots, etc. A lot of churning going on. I don't know if it'll be on stage or not. We'll see. All right, 855-839-1210. That's how you get in on the side question and everything else. Here is President Biden. He is with this. I have to say, he looked particularly dazed in the footage that I saw. They had to tag in Kamala Harris at the White House. They had the WNBA championship. The Vegas team was the champions. I don't know. They're starting the preseason now. Why it took so long. But anyhow, the Aces. And Biden then tells us how we have to support women's sports. Think of the richness of the irony of this man. Here's what he said.
Been a banner year for women's basketball. More watching y'all than anybody else. The most watched women's college game ever. It matters to girls and women finally seeing themselves represented, and it matters to all of America. That's why, as a nation, we need to support women's sports by showing that.
How are we going to do that, Mr. President?
By showing up in person, watching on TV with more sponsorships and programming, and helping grow the business of women's sports and keep inspiring. You keep inspiring an entire nation. And that's not hyperbole. You really do. Think about what this year has been.
Can you give us any more detail rather than just, how about allowing women to play women's sports and not having to deal with all these intruders? All right. It was, even for Biden, no more sit-down interviews. When Aaron Burnett took him to the cleaners, he just can't do any of those interviews. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. Hit me with that all-time song that pretty much you listen to on the beach or when you're at Jersey Shore resort, something like that. Not a bad song, but you need that kind of impetus. Let's go to Bill in Bucks County. Bill, you're on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Bill.
Hello there. Greetings from Bucks County, Pennsylvania, home of State Attorney General Michelle Henry. Anyway.
The state attorney general, who doesn't seem to be attorney generaling much. How's it going finding that SEPTA prosecutor that she's supposed to do? I must be grueling work to be doing that.
Yeah, well, Michelle Henry was former DA here in Bucks County, so I just don't know. But she's a Democrat now.
Yeah.
So just so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, she switched. Okay. All right. Anyway, I got a summer song. Mungo Jerry in the Summertime.
Yeah, Summertime is my great song, and I don't need it just to be at the beach, but yeah.
Really? You like this one?
Oh, yes. Yeah, absolutely.
With his mutton chops and, yeah.
Well, I don't know about him, but the song.
You ever have mutton chops?
No, I have not had mutton
All the way
chops.
down to the
I
mustache?
can't stand that stuff. I don't know who looks good with mutton chops.
Not Mungo Jerry.
All right. Coming up, we're going to speak with Congressman Michael Waltz. Should they impeach Joe Biden over what he's done? 26 House Democrats urging Biden to resume the aid to Israel. Now, here's what he's banking on. He's banking on the fact that a lot of voters are not paying attention to this. The ones that are the people that are, he's trying to calm them down in Michigan, places like that. It's going to be hard. These people on Penn's campus, et cetera, they're not going to be worried about that with Biden. They may not vote. They're not going to vote for Trump, but they're certainly not in the camp with Biden. Fox showing a lot of footage today of the previous Trump rally, January 28th, 2019. The one that we talked about with Jeff Van Drew, certainly this a lot bigger, and let's hope the elements are a lot friendlier. Somehow or
January
another.
28th, 2020.
20. Okay, I'm expecting a lot of wind tomorrow. Ready for that. All right, 855-839-1210. You get on board. By the way, another group is coming to town. We're working to get on one of their members. The Stop Trump Summit is coming to Philadelphia next week. People like Will Bunch, Randy Weingarten, abortion people, pro-abortion people, some national people will be involved here, all to stop. And they're focusing in on Pennsylvania. That seems to be the big deal. All right, Congressman Michael Waltz is next, and the answers on the side question. We'll take some of those. Hey, don't miss out on the memorial sale at Rescue Natural Supplements going on now with prices rising across the country. Rescue is rolling back pricing to the year 2010. Enjoy their fantastic buy 2 bottles, get 1 free, and buy 3 bottles, get 2 free memorial deals. Stock up on your favorite, save big with Rescue rollback pricing and generous free bottle offers. Whether you're in need of 1250 omega-3s, cholesterol supporters, probiotics, or natural pain relief, everything is on sale. To order, call 800-26-ALIVE. That's 800-262-5483. Speak to a Rescue product consultant or shop online at res-q.com, res-q.com. Don't miss this opportunity for huge savings on over 50 Rescue products to tackle your health goals. Remember, 2010 rollback prices and the memorial deals are going on now through May 30th. Just go shop at res-q.com, res-q.com.
It is a dreary finish to the work week with plenty of clouds, off and on showers. It'll be breezy and cool with a high only 56. Tonight, drying out, mostly cloudy with a low 47. And for Saturday, partly to mostly cloudy. It'll be milder with a high 66.
Weather sponsored by Express Employment Professionals. If you're ready for a new job, let Express Employment Professionals help you. Express is your one connection for a summer job in a variety of industries. Job seekers never pay a fee at Express. Go to expresspros.com to find your location. That's expresspros.com.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
We're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that our daughters have what they need to grow and learn. But that isn't the case for nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. that struggle with hunger.
Childhood hunger is a heartbreaking reality that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and provides it to families and children in need.
You can help kids in need in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Dawn Stensland here for my friends at Anderson Mechanical Corporation, AMC. Yeah, they want to make sure your AC blows that cool air you'll need when summer temperatures are here. The owners, Carrie and Bill, take great pride in doing things the right way. Take advantage right now of their spring tune-up special. You'll receive a 15% discount off your spring maintenance and 1 year of free maintenance with a replacement system. Call them today, amcontheweb.com, amcontheweb.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Chronic pain, cancer, fatigue. Find out about the benefits of medical hydration therapy on Health Watch with Dr. Molly Fantasia every Sunday morning at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Oh, yeah. All you griddle gurus best get your game faces on because it's gorilla season at Gerhardt's. And that means all systems go for great deals on the latest grills that'll sizzle your grizzle off. Whether you're a tong man or spatula lady, Gerhardt's Appliances has all the propane-powered patio powerhouses to turn that frozen filet mignon into a fire-grilled filet mignon.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
All right, Dom time. As we round out the week, we had great conversation before with Congressman Mike Waltz from Florida, Green Beret, and somebody in the forefront of anything that involves the military on a serious level, and big supporter of President Trump. There's calls by Tom Cotton, who is a military veteran of High Order 2, to start impeachment, a look at impeachment with President Biden, given this is a congressionally mandated shipment to Israel that he's holding up just for political reasons. Let's go to the congressman on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Congressman, welcome back. Thanks for joining us. Where do you come down on this?
Yeah, look, well, I've been on record repeatedly saying he should have been impeached for commingling funds with Hunter, who clearly was funneling contributions from, you name it, from Kazakhstan, from Russian oligarchs, from China, into the family coffers. When you have 27 LLCs that are, 9 of them are in your grandkid's name, and then it's all getting mixed around together. It's
right.
A clear violation. And in this regard, yeah, don't we remember just a few years ago, the other side of the aisle saying over and over again that, I mean, you could play Adam Schiff's statement in the Senate leading the trial, going after President Trump over withholding the allegation that he withheld aid for political, but for basically discussed on a phone call. Proven. In this case, the president admitted and he's done it. So, yeah, I'm on board.
All right. Tell me, though, you know Congress better. Tactically, though, I just see the election taking a turn in 2 weeks. If Trump gets a mistrial in all this legal stuff goes away till after the election, would this not be a distraction? I agree with you. It's the right thing to do. This is very clear on this. But then the big picture, is it the right thing? What would it do? Principle, sure, on this, but politically, what happens with it?
Yeah, that's the real irony, right? Is the Democrats will say, oh, you're just doing this for political reasons. And historically, actually, impeachment has blown back on the other side. If you look at Bill Clinton, his highest approval ratings were at the end of impeachment, and Donald Trump's highest approval ratings were at the end of the first impeachment. So actually, politically, especially in an election year, I agree with you. It could serve as a distraction and politically wouldn't be great. But on principle, it absolutely is the right thing to do. This was congressionally mandated aid. Constitutionally, the other side has to provide it, period. And at the end of the day, this is obviously and blatantly for political reasons. This is all about this is all about 100,000 votes in Michigan and protesters on campuses, and the fact that the polling shows that the youth vote is walking away from Biden right now.
They might walk away more. We had on Matt Gaetz, and he was talking to General Austin, the head of the Defense Department, secretary. It shocked me, some of his answers about this peer into Gaza. where vast numbers of people are antithetical to us in addition to Hamas. And he said, yeah, Americans likely would come under fire in operation with that pier. And then we don't seem to know what we would do. You have better sources. You are the ultimate military guy. Is Biden really going to do that? This, both the right thing with American lives and the political thing, that seems to me to be incredible that he would risk that.
Yeah, no, I was literally sitting right next to Matt during this hearing and watching Austin. Remember, this is a defense secretary who didn't think it was important to tell the president when he was missing in action for over a week when he was sick. But watching him try to dance around and say no boots are on the ground. But then Matt pointed out, well, but the pier is touching the shore and we have soldiers standing on the pier that are in small arms range of the shoreline that can be fired upon by the shoreline, not to mention any kind of suicide drones, mortars, or artillery that could be launched on them. And Austin agreed, yes, they are within firing range of the terrorists in Gaza, but they're not technically standing on the shore. So that's one issue. The other issue is they still haven't worked out where the aid's going to go, who's responsible, who's securing the beachhead, how much aid is going to be coming in from the international community, and how it's going to be inspected so that you're not smuggling arms. None of that's been worked out. Meanwhile, the cost of this thing is $300 million and counting. So if you look at what's happening to warships in the Red Sea that are near the shoreline, one can only imagine what's going to be happen to an undefended pier from threats from the air, threats from the sea, and threats from the shore. I have huge issue with the lack of planning that's going into this. And again, I think this was another virtue signal to the hard left, except this time we could seriously get people killed, not to mention the cost of it.
It is remarkable, but then again, so was the Afghanistan situation. Congressman, you sent a letter to Senate leaders asking that political nominations remain on hold until the Israel aid is released. That's something more appealing to me. Yeah, they could say we're holding up something important, but it puts the issue out there. The impeachment, I had Alan West on, and you and Alan West are the two best military people I've had the opportunity over the years to talk with. And I get it, the principle of it, but I still see it as something that backfires. But telling the Senate to hold this up, I don't. Is that a way to get it on the front page?
Well, look, I mean, the least we can do is hold up his political appointees that would be implementing this bad policy. I mean, I don't think I don't look at it as an alternative or more palatable track. I look at it as just a bare minimum.
Okay.
We've got bad policy after bad policy. I think it's almost a duty of Senate Republicans to stop these idiots who keep putting our soldiers in harm's way, putting our allies in harm's way, and making the world less safe. But look, I'm with you on the impeachment aspect of this. And I just laid out the case where actually it tends to blow back historically because it paints whoever you're going after as a victim in a lot of cases. But look, we have to move forward on principle. And at a minimum, I want to start seeing subpoenas going out. I want to see the communications from Biden's political operation to his national security operation saying you got to do this because the politics are bad, and having an investigation that puts a spotlight on that. We all suspect it's happening. We all know it's happening. I want to actually get it out there in writing.
That is solid, without a doubt. We haven't talked with you about one of the biggest things to continue with our listeners, that they don't give up hope on election integrity. We had on the head of the RNC, Watley, who's a big guy back to 2020, 84 lawsuits all the way out there. He came to Philadelphia, which, as you probably have a sense, is hostile territory for Republicans. We have not had more than maybe 40% to 50% in presidential elections of actual poll watchers in Philadelphia for the Republican Party. He assured me they do have a big plan this time. What about you? What are your thoughts? What are you working on around that?
Well, the reason the president wanted Watley in the job was that this was kind of how he has made a name for himself in party politics by actually executing oversight of the polls in North Carolina. And if he can do that at scale, or at least do it across the 7 to 9 swing states, that's really encouraging. Chris LaSavita, his chief of staff, but also co-campaign manager, is also very focused on it. And then Susie Wiles, who is actually from my part of Florida, the other co-campaign manager, actually executed this in Florida. And keep in mind, we took his percentage win from just barely 1% in 2016 to over 3.5% in 2020. I mean, tripling his margin. And then you layer on that in Florida, I could tell you, we know when mail-in ballots have gone out. We know when they've been received. We know when they've been sent back and who still has them. Not to mention the early voting pieces of it, because here, if we have a hurricane or a storm on election day in a key part of the state, you've got a lot at risk. And I know a lot of your listeners may disagree, but I think we've got to bank those votes early. And because, for example, in northern Nevada, they had a big sandstorm in rural counties on election day, and it depressed the vote. We almost had a hurricane on election day in 2022 in South Florida, which would have seriously depressed the vote. So I think we've just got to fight the other side where they are. And if they have states that are doing early voting, we've got to beat them at early voting. I can tell you our rural voters and our elderly love mail-in balloting. You just got to do it the right way. I'm not talking about blasting ballots out to unvetted voter rolls, tightly controlled like we do in Florida. And if we can migrate that to other places, then I feel a lot better about it.
Well, I would tell you the good news is we've been on board for about a year, at least this show, and mail-in balloting, 1.5 years, 2 years, all out. And listeners are, the president made one tweet on Truth Social, early voting, get out there and do it. I know, he can pivot on anything. He could talk about it. If he goes full bore, say at this rally in Wildwood and say, yeah, they've convinced me, you got to do this. We got to win. This is the way to do it. So everybody that I have on at your level and around the president and all that, we try to reinforce that. Get in his ear, make it plain. That's the only way to win.
Well, but here's the reality. I mean, look, I agree with them that same day, all in person, tightly controlled is the right thing to do.
Right.
But then you have the reality that we live in these blue states, particularly after COVID, aren't going to change. The rules are determined at the state legislature level. So until we flip those state legislatures, then we just got to win given the reality that we're facing. And the earlier we can bank votes, the better.
Absolutely. Congressman, thank you. Hope to see you in person sometime. It's an honor to have you on, and we'll continue. Any preview of Michael Cohen? Are you going to be watching with popcorn on Monday?
You know what? No, I got to be honest with you. I'm just disgusted with the whole thing. The sooner it is done, the better, so that he can get out there and make his case. And by the way, the legal bills that are running up, they're just bleeding. They're just bleeding the guy dry. So I've just had it. It's ridiculous. It's a sham. It's making a mockery of our legal system.
Absolutely. Congressman, thank you, though, and please come back soon.
All right. Thanks.
Congressman Mike Waltz, Stan. I mean, in one show to have Alan West and the Green Beret on, Trump's got to do it more vigorously. I can't say it anyway. The guys we have on, they know it too. I'm sure they're telling him it. He's just got to do it directly. Do it in Wildwood. Say, I'd like to make a statement here in Wildwood. That would be worth everything that happens. Just clearly, yeah, you got to do it. I hate it, but do it. All right, lightning round coming up. Hit us with that song that really only works resort, beach, that kind of thing. That's where you want to hear it. Got some of the heavyweights really to come in, and then we'll decide the winner of the week. Hey, Captain Chucky's reminds you to make the call for a delectable dinner for mom. Mother's Day this Sunday. Order delicious seafood. Make your list. Let Captain Chucky's help. Don't forget to order that brand new Bang Bang Jumbo Lump Crab Cake. Delicious, creamy, 5-ounce jumbo lump bread crab cake with a kick. For those who like to spice it up with some heat, check your store for availability. Important to call them up. Perfect time to check out to all the other Captain Chucky's offerings. They have delicious stuffed mushrooms, salads, tremendous variety of homemade sides, desserts. You'll save a lot of time. Use the expertise of Captain Chucky's. Also, several choices of breaded, non-breaded crab cakes, so literally a crab cake for everybody. Dessert, soup, sides, and all the highest quality ingredients. Their Gulf shrimp is always a huge hit. Wild caught, never farm raised. My favorite too, delicious Dom rolls. All this Captain Chucky's stuff, one location, multiple locations near you, but online, go to welovecrabcakes.com. welovecrabcakes.com.
When life gets too hectic, it's time to retreat from the noise.
My name's Carmen DePasquale. I have been a retreatant for about 26 years. I came alone. I literally read it in a bulletin and decided that this might be something that I'd like to do. I literally took a leap of faith and I thought, well, let me see what this is about. And if this is right for me, I always felt welcomed even though I didn't know anyone.
Retreat from the noise. Hear God's voice. Go to malvernretreat.com.
So anyone can really feel welcome here.
See Joe Conklin and the City Rhythm Orchestra on a tribute to Philly sports fans at Wildwood Catholic Academy in North Wildwood and at the Ocean City Music Pier in Ocean City, New Jersey.
Alan Iverson, Cole Hamels, Joel Embiid.
My dad set this up. This was actually a gift to us to bring us all together, come see Joe and relive all the Philadelphia history. Come see it. It's amazing.
That's Joe Conklin and the City Rhythm Orchestra at Wildwood Catholic on June 29th and the Boardwalk in Ocean City, New Jersey on July 13th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. JoeConklin.com.
Hi, everyone. Matt here from Emmons Roofing and Siding. There are a lot of companies out there that say they do roofing, siding, windows, and doors. Some good, some not so good. Be careful of those that say buy two, get two free. Does that really make sense? Think about it. At Emmons, we don't offer gimmicks, just quality products installed by our experienced craftsmen. We do offer 12 months, same as cash financing, though. That's not a gimmick. That's because we know how tough it is for some people right now to get these projects done. If you need roofing, siding, or windows and doors, call us for a free estimate today at 856-885-6677 or visit us at callemmons.com.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie. Tune in to Your Radio Doctor every Saturday afternoon at 5 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT for the latest healthcare news and information, because your health is your wealth. That's Your Radio Doctor, Saturdays at 5. Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency on earth, and if you owe back taxes, the news isn't good. The IRS is raising the interest rate it charges on unpaid taxes, and further rate hikes are expected. Most people don't know it, but the IRS adds interest charges to your tax debts daily. So if you owe the IRS today, you'll owe even more tomorrow. And it doesn't stop until you get right with the IRS. The good news is getting right can start with one phone call to Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm. Optima's tax professionals specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, a powerful IRS program that can save you thousands if you qualify. In fact, the experts at Optima have resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Free speech lives here, on the air, and on the Odyssey app. Talk Radio 1210. WPHT.
The time has come for the final test.
We usually call it the lightning round.
Yes, we do. We got the 1927 Yankees. I don't know who. 1986 Bears. 19 what? Chicago Bulls. We got the heavy hitters coming up here. Johnny Z down there in Wildwood, our host extraordinaire. All right, is that 18-wheeler unloaded, Johnny? Do you have enough beer for tomorrow?
It is finally unloaded, Dom, and that was only one beer company. You know, we deal with multiple, and they sent that whole 18-wheeler down loaded for us. Unbelievable
Nicely stuff. You'll probably have enough for tomorrow. Maybe we hope to.
We should be able to get through.
We're hoping to get another 18-wheeler. The packaged goods store and all that fully open now, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, our first day we opened was today.
Good stuff, John. So, what's your song?
How about Dock of the Bay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Otis Redding.
Absolutely. Great one. So, John, looking forward to tomorrow with the heavy hitters back to back. Ziola used to be on before me. Now he's after. We'll both be there. Dan coming too. That's got to drop.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
Yeah, oh, yeah. We've been getting tons of phone calls, tons. And I mean big groups. I'm not talking, it's me and a friend. I'm talking, 15 people are coming, 20 people. I don't know what to expect tomorrow.
Oh,
it's going to be wild.
All right. Well, the outdoor, the expansion.
Also,
go ahead.
Well, for you and Rich, I'm saving, just so you know, I'm saving 2 parking spaces for you guys, so you don't have to worry about, trying to park a mile away to get there.
Johnny, could you save 3?
No, don't do it, John,
no. You're a young man, Daniel. Young man.
Wait a minute. Have you seen this guy in action? You have seen him, right? I've
seen him.
I may have to give my space to Dan, based upon some vaping incidents and all. All right, John, thank you for that.
All right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Johnny. How nice of him, very much. I might give my space, though, to Leslie. I don't know if I'm allowed to do that or not. She's next in Bryn Mawr. I'm checking on the rules on that, Leslie. We'll work it out.
Well, I kind of like, the chair save. You dig your spot out and you put your chair there.
Yeah, I don't mind. For Johnny and for this event, I don't mind walking at all anyhow. A couple miles, that would be fine. As long as I get to the church.
Couple miles?
Time. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah? You're parking Diamond Beach?
I think I probably can park within 3 blocks. I'll get in there somehow.
Yeah, and I may get there in time also to not be, far away. I'm so excited. This is my 4th rally.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Well, it's such a positive event, and the energy is so great. Everybody's just happy. And that's such a nice feeling to be around. And, I think it's going to be great at Mulligan's. And I am so excited.
Be wonderful. What's your song, Leslie?
My song is Walking on Sunshine, Katrina and the Waves.
Very, very good. I got to get Earl of Tacony, who'll be there tomorrow. Earl, I got about 20 seconds. Sorry, but what's your song?
The Boardwalk song by the Drifters. Not that one, the other one. The boardwalk's deserted. There's nobody down by the shore. And and I've just lost it. I've got Sand in My Shoes by the Drifters.
There you go. Thank you. That one I don't know as well. Under the Boardwalk, though, is a classic. I don't think you need to shore, but it's a great answer from Dan. All right, Dan, give me a clue here. Who's the winner today, maybe?
Yeah, so Dom, a couple good ones today. California Girls theme from A Summer Place. The Phillies game from Robert and Ben was out of the box. I like that one. Surfer Girl from Lisa in Maryland. In the Summertime by Mungo Jerry. Sitting on the Dock of the Bay, Johnny Z. Walking on Sunshine, Leslie. And you just heard the last one.
What's your...
I like... probably leaning towards the Phillies game. It's not a song, but it's something you listen to. And it's
only at the... Yeah, we're more at that. Okay. Outside the box, but we'll put that down. Let's hear the 5 winners this week.
Monday, Dom, was Kevin in Newtown Square answered, what's an all-time famous hat? He said Popeye Doyle's hat. Tuesday, what's a memorable exit? Ray in the Northeast took it with Lou Gehrig's final speech. Wednesday, what's an all-time memorable moment from a press conference or press confrontation? Dwayne in Valley Forge called it with Leanne Savloff and Ed Rendell. Thursday, what's an all-time memorable court scene? Real or fictional? Pete and Yardley, if the glove doesn't fit, you must have quit. And Friday, what's a song that you only want to hear when down the shore? Well, it's a Phillies game from Robert and Salem. So, Dom, all in the hat now. Let's do the drum roll. Number Number one, Monday, Kevin in Newtown Square with Popeye Doyle takes the $50 Wendy's gift card. Congratulations there, Kevin.
I can go and watch the French Connection right now. Unbelievable. All right, folks, you know where it would be tomorrow. Please come out, support. If not 3 to 5, then Rich 5 to 7, or after tomorrow, Johnny Z, Mulligans tomorrow, and the Trump rally. Rich is next. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Tom Herr, and this is Susan Herr, Norvon, Pennsylvania.
Being with Crash Proof is like being in a big family. We know there's a lot of other